sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
It is all-star break time for the San Antonio Spurs, and they go in with a big loss in Dallas last night. Spurs enter the break with just 10 wins on the season. They'll resume the Rodeo Road Trip 1 week from today in Sacramento. Wemby and Jeremy Sohan heading to the all-star festivities. They'll participate in the Rising Stars game tomorrow night. And Tiger is back on the course, the Genesis Invitational.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On a great Thursday afternoon. Glad to have you along. If you're listening on the radio, online at sasportstar.com. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. It is 2 o'clock, right?
It is. I just made it to YouTube. I thought I was in there like 10 minutes ago, and you got to hit that little enter the studio thing.
Well, there's right buttons to push, and then literally I walk in. I'm wondering, nobody sits on this side anymore.
Yeah,
in the mornings, because RJ Ochoa is down in the valley. But every day that I come in, stuff over on this side is messed up. Now, Edwin Hafner is producing today because James Pledger is taking a well-deserved day off, a little vacation. I hope we see the kid again because he's teaching himself how to snowboard.
He may be in a cast or two, but other than that, we'll see him again.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's entirely possible, right? But like this little contraption over here, there's different settings.
Yeah.
And there's one setting that is for on-the-air radio. And then there's other settings that you could use if you're recording.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I have to come in and fix that.
I got to fix mine too.
Today, I move the microphone. I just grab it and move it, and the whole damn thing fell apart. Like, what the hell is going on in here in the mornings?
Who knows? Rob's having a party all by himself.
Well, and that's kind of the scary thing is you get Rob Thompson in a room by himself with different things that he can mess with to keep himself entertained. Or is he trying to set booby traps so that everything falls apart during the Blitz, which never happens?
Well, of course not. And that could be the case. But I know he talks to, he's got to change this to talk to RJ, I think, right? And so.
But that's your side. What the hell's happening on this side?
Dude, I don't know.
Edwin, what's happening on this side?
Ryan talks to RJ.
What the hell is Ryan doing talking to RJ?
He's our digital guy.
Well, I know he's the digital guy. I've met him before. Like, I see him every day. So he sits in here.
He sits where you're sitting.
Why does he mess with stuff? And if you mess with stuff, why don't you put it back the way you found it?
Well, so he probably unscrewed your microphone.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Former Marine, break stuff and not know how to fix it and leave it for the Navy guy to repair it. I get it.
That's how it is.
It makes all the sense in the world now. So Ryan sits in here now. He used to sit over yonder. So he couldn't sit back in his old seat.
No, he sits where you're sitting now.
Well, why doesn't he sit in the seat that nobody sits in?
Because nobody's sitting in that seat, and he wants to take that one. He wants to look Rob eye to eye.
Well, so that's why the chair is always so high when I come in.
That's it.
When I first started seeing that, I thought somebody was making a height joke because they raised the chair as high as it will go every day, right? And then
they probably are.
And then I have to lower it. But now that I know if Ryan is trying to look eye to eye, he's probably got the chair as high it can go and an old phone book.
Yeah.
Possible.
Well, it's been one of those days. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been in studio 6 minutes and everything's broke. And my headphones are jacked up right now.
See, that's the problem I have is these headphones. And I want my other ones back. And I want to find these just like I had it. These are the ones I think that crapped out, although I'm going to try them during the next break.
So wait a minute.
Because these sound horrible. I sound like I'm in a tunnel. Woo!
You are.
Yeah.
Well, those are like cheap headphones you probably got free from an airline.
Probably. And they might have, you might be right.
Well, because they look like the free pair I got when we were going out the Army Navy, and they say, "Here, you want some headphones?" And I was like, "These things suck."
You know, you might be right on that. And then I've got another pair in there, but the earplugs are like, I don't know, this big. Boom, like a big. And they're uncomfortable as hell. So these have been great. Lasted me 2 years.
Yeah,
so I got to find out.
But you've been
where those
bitching before we left for Super Bowl. You were complaining about them, and you come back from Super Bowl, and they still don't work again, and you still haven't replaced them.
Well, I don't have time to do
Well,
that
what do you
kind
mean
of
you
stuff.
don't
I
have
don't have
time?
time.
Well,
Yeah, you know, and I guess I could wear Rob's headphones over here,
Yeah,
but I don't like headphones.
Good luck with that. It would mess up your hair, and we know that's not going to happen.
Well, dude, I had to do that all last week at the Super Bowl. Go around with messy hair.
Nobody noticed.
No, of course they noticed.
Nobody
I get
noticed.
people, they're pointing and, man, it's a bad day. Joe's actually got a hair out of place. I heard the whispers.
Did you hear the whispers?
I heard them.
So you're the kind of guy that, you know, if there's two people over there talking and looking this way, they must be talking bad about you?
Of course.
Talking bad about your hair?
Yes, of course.
I mean, it's certainly possible. Yeah. See, now the headsets that we wear, like when we're on remote, like Friday, tomorrow's Friday, right?
It is.
We're going to be live at the Roo Pub, and we have headsets for that. I don't mind those.
Well, that's what we wore last week.
That's what we wore last week.
Yeah.
I mean, you could wear those in here. You have to get Greg Shelton off his ass to come in here and
that's not gonna happen. He's right in the middle of a solitaire game. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, you know, it only lasts 2 minutes, then he'll be free.
He wishes. 2 minutes.
I said solitaire.
Oh, solitaire.
He's not smart enough to beat solitaire in less than 2 minutes.
Well, no, most people aren't, right? I mean,
it's about the average.
Do you ever play that? I know you play
every day.
But I've been playing this one where it's for real money.
For real money.
Yeah.
You're such a degenerate. You're playing solitaire for real money?
For real money.
I've just got a stupid streak that I want to keep alive that means nothing to nobody but me.
I love this thing, and I'm addicted to it.
You're addicted to solitaire.
I'm addicted to it, but you can play for real money.
Well, they have a tournament every afternoon at Luby's.
They do?
I don't know.
They don't have a Luby's anymore.
I think they do.
Plus, I'm working.
Did all the Luby's close or just most of them?
Dude, I have no idea. I know it's a Mexican food one, the one on Blanco.
Yeah, maybe. What's the one over by the old Spurs facility? Is it?
I don't know if that closed or not.
Okay, I don't know.
Well, according Edwin just pulled a map up of Luby's, and I guess there are several still.
Maybe. I mean, if you believe what you see on the internet.
Well, why wouldn't I?
I mean, I don't know. It's on the internet. It must be true.
Got to be. There's 4 or 5. I had no idea. I thought they all closed.
I thought most of them did, but who knows? I don't know.
I like Luby's.
I've
always liked Luby's, not just because I'm an old guy now. I mean, when I was a young dude, I liked Luby's too.
Dude, I have a distinct fear of Luby's. I do. I can't go in there.
Well, I understand.
Sure. I won't go in there.
I got you. Do people know that story?
Maybe some may. So you go back. I grew up in Copper's Cove, right, which is right next to Killeen. In 1991, in October, there was a mass shooting at the Luby's in Killeen. My parents used to meet for lunch every Wednesday at Luby's. It happened to be Boss's Day. They get there, place is crowded, so they go somewhere else. So before cell phones, before anything, and they go to Luby's, they go to lunch, or they go back to work, or they don't go to Luby's, but they go to lunch, they go back to work, and I can't get a hold of my parents all day. And I'm living in New York at the time in the Navy. I was stationed in Earl, New Jersey, had an apartment in New York. So I don't know. I just get
and
weird.
No cell phones.
And
either.
no cell phones.
Yeah.
And so I just can't do Luby's. Can't do it.
I got you.
Knew too many people that day that aren't with us.
I understand.
Yep. Small town stuff. You know how it goes, especially when you think about, what happened yesterday in Kansas City, and, I'm trying to get a hold of my buddy Carlos and making sure him and his family are good because, were they going to the parade or not? They were undecided. They did not, thankfully. But, it's just scary.
Well, yeah, they're still sorting that thing out. I've been trying to watch, every news channel that there is, right? CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all of them, trying to figure out what happened. Nobody seems to really know other than it was kids.
Yep.
Or young dudes just having a dispute with somebody.
It is. And I'm glad it wasn't some sort of, and I say it that way, it sounds awful, but some sort of like planned attack, terrorist attack of this group, of that group. It's just a bunch of knucklehead kids, one with guns like that, and they end up in a fight, and then somebody pulls out a gun. I mean,
how do you bring now? Did they determine the guns? Were
Well,
they
I mean,
long guns or pistols?
Well, the one gun that was on TV was an assault rifle.
Now, how do you just walk around with that?
Well, I mean, it was in a backpack. And so it's in your backpack and you go to a parade like that. You know, you're going to be there for hours and hours and hours. So, you know, not uncommon for an event like that, a championship parade. You're going to have a backpack that's going to have snacks and drinks and whatnot. So, you know, so somebody seeing somebody with a backpack wouldn't cause alarm. Right. I certainly could see that. Then there's a fight and some guy reaches into his backpack and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about this, but I just,
and the, you know, one person that we know that died yesterday at the scene, a Tejano DJ at a Kansas City radio station. And, you know, and I think about, you know, as a radio person, you know, we all do remotes, you do events, you do big stuff. And a lot of times it's fun. And now she's gone. I mean, it's just
two kids.
Yeah. It's scary.
It's senseless. Can't make sense out of all of that.
No, and look, we try to stay in the toy department here on the Blitz. That's why we're in sports, so we don't have to talk about real news until real news says you have to talk about it. I like being in the toy department, so let's stay in our lane in the toy department. And, you know, we're better general managers than the people that have jobs as general managers. And free agency is about to begin. Now, every team is starting over. And you look at the list of free agents, and you look at the list of the big-name free agents. Who do you think the Cowboys should go after? That's a question. And the Houston Texans as well. You know, and you look at the Cowboys free agents. Who of the Cowboys free agents, and they got a lot of them.
They got a bunch.
But who do you really want to keep? That becomes a big question as well.
Well, it does, but, I mean, you got to keep some of those guys, don't you?
We'll prioritize.
We'll
do that.
All right.
Coming up next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Tomorrow, the Blitz is going to be live out at the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road. And we tell you all the time, if you're looking for a place to go watch any kind of big game, big fight, the Roo Pub is the place to go. They've proved it over the past decade as the best place to go watch any game, any big event, with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. And when you show up at the Roo, show up hungry. The food, fantastic, all made from scratch. They have the biggest and best wings in town, about 15 different burgers on the menu, great salads, great appetizers, and that kitchen is open late till 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and, of course, the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub, just down from the Angry Elephant, next to the Angry Elephant, down from the Big Blind. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dave Ramsey here for my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
An altercation with an overzealous fan on Wednesday evening in Las Vegas. Apparently, the NBA top draft pick, Victor Wembanyama.
Very nice.
Okay.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Joe Reinagel here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagel. You know, now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather. Be it hot, cold, rain, or hail, who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
At Target, our aisles tell stories of everyday Black joy. The same joy that can be found in our new Black History Month collection. Like feeling empowered with the teas and mugs from Legendary Roots. Or seeing the beauty of Black culture through the art of Winnie Weston. Bring more Black joy to your day with an affordable collection that embraces it. Available now at target.com/Black Beyond Measure.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
I love San Antonio, man. I love it.
On 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. NFL offseason underway. Mike Zimmer, the new defensive coordinator of the Cowboys. We'll talk a lot about that. In fact, Dave Campo, former Cowboys head coach, is going to join us at, 4:30 to talk about his former defensive coordinator when he was head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
He hired him, right?
Yes.
Didn't he hire him? Yeah.
He was on the staff. They were on the staff together when Campo got promoted to head coach. He promoted Zim. And he had an interesting tweet about Mike Zimmer today. And I saw that tweet and I texted Campo and I said, Coach, you got to come on and talk about this. He said okay. Sure, 4:30. Yeah. That works.
Awesome.
So Dave Campo at 4:30. And, a big question is now that he's there, you start wondering about the players that Zimmer's going to want. Because when you look at Cowboys free agents, there's a lot on the defensive side, and you wonder if that's going to fit the scheme, if you will, that Zimmer's going to want to run. Then you look at the available free agents, and there's some really good free agents out there. But I look at that list and I go, okay, that would be nice, but can the Cowboys afford it?
That's it. I mean, that's going to be the thing, right? I mean, when you look at what the Cowboys are going to be able to afford after they extend Dak Prescott, $50 million plus a year. I'm sure that's going to be the case. You got CD Lamb, who's going to be making what, 25 to 30 million probably per year. And then what do you do with Micah Parsons, even though not necessarily have to hurry and do that, but they're going to have a lot of money that they've got to spend. So what do you do with Tyron Smith? Are you going to re-sign him? You've got Tyler Biotish is another guy.
Well, when I look at the list of Cowboy free agents and you start to prioritize on the offensive side of the ball, man, Tony Pollard, what do you do there? And when you look at the free agent running backs, Saquon, sure, can you afford him? What's the market going to be? Jacobs, same thing. Derrick Henry, same thing. Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard told us last week in Las Vegas he wants to be in Dallas, but he's going who has the best offer,
as he should.
And he didn't tiptoe around it.
No,
I want to be in Dallas. Basically is what he said, but I'm going who offers me the most amount of money.
I bet if you talk to every one of these free agents, not just Cowboys, but any team, they're going to say the same thing. Yeah, I'd like to stay in Tennessee, Derrick Henry, but I'm going to go to whoever pays me the most.
Well, so on the offensive side, let's put Tony Pollard on the couch, right? Because we got to figure out the budget for running backs. When you look at Tyler Biotish, do you prioritize Tyler Biotish? You paid Terrence Steele last year. Zach Martin is coming up. Tyler Smith is about to get paid. He's got another year before he cashes in, and that dude is going to get paid. And you got Tyler Biotish. There really isn't a quality backup center on that roster. We've seen them. So I'm not comfortable with any of those guys that are in a backup role moving up to become starters. So do I prioritize Tyler Biotish? And then you look at Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith is still dominant when he is available.
And what do you do? There are rumors all over the place about Tyron Smith. Again, he wants to stay in Dallas, likes Jerry Jones. But then you hear these rumors that Kansas City might come knocking and try to steal Tyron Smith away.
Tyron Smith has made so much money in his career. He's at the point of his career, unlike, say, a Tyler Biotish. Tyler Biotish is set for his big first payday. Tyron Smith is at the point where if he really wants to win, does he stay in Dallas hoping that Dak Prescott learns how to be a playoff quarterback? Or if these stories are true, these rumors, Kansas City offers, do you go to Kansas City?
In a heartbeat. It wouldn't even be, it'd be, bye, guys.
Well, you play the odds. I know Patrick Mahomes yesterday guaranteed a three-peat. It's never been done before. But who gives you the best chance to go win a Super Bowl, right? And, yeah, I'd go to Kansas City, too. No different than DeMarcus Lawrence going to Buffalo to finally get a ring at the end of his career. Does Tyron Smith, if he doesn't retire, does he stay in Dallas, or does he look at one of these other teams that have a chance of going to a Super Bowl?
Well, there's going to be some interest in him. I don't think there's any question about that. We talked yesterday about, him maybe being a backup, and I just don't see him being comfortable with that. The reports that I'm reading that he's going to command right in the $7 to $8 million range, which, in today's NFL is kind of cheap.
Yeah.
So,
I would hate for the Cowboys to lose Tyron Smith because he's $8 million, right?
Yeah.
Because the guy can still start. The question with Tyron isn't if he gets hurt, but when and how many games. And it's unfortunate that's where he's at in his career. There are a lot of guys that are on this free agent list that you would love to have, but they're always hurt. San Francisco, they've got to make some decisions on their roster. As much as I love a Deebo Samuel, guy seems to be hurt a lot. Same with George Kittle. There's questions coming out of San Francisco. Do they get rid of Brandon Ayuk? I wouldn't get rid of Brandon Ayuk. But Deebo, as great as he is, he gets hurt a lot.
He does, but that's a tough one to give up.
Well, but couldn't you say, isn't that the same with Tyron Smith? Because when he's available, man, he is still really damn good.
Yeah, when he's available. It's going to come down. Look, the Cowboys, that offensive line, you can't really afford to be giving guys away. They're going to have to draft offensive line again, I would think, this year. That's got to be a priority as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sure for Dak Prescott, that would be a priority as well. And the Cowboys have been pretty good at drafting offensive linemen. So that's got to be a priority. So do you go younger, or do you keep a Tyron Smith around and hope that he stays healthy? That's going to be an interesting question to ponder. What's fascinating, what I can't wait for, is that March, free agent time. It's coming. We don't have to wait a long time to get some of these answers.
Well, and when you look at the Cowboys offensive line, and we talk about how well they draft, you got Biotish is an unrestricted free agent. So is Tyron Smith. So is Chuma Edoga. So when you look at the depth, TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman is your backup center, Asim Richards, Matt Walesko still hanging out there, and then you got Josh Ball. And if I never see Josh Ball again, I'll be okay. Walesko, we've been hearing about forever, but he's a guy that can't stay healthy. He hasn't been able to really get healthy yet. Richards was okay. Hoffman, when he had to play last year, was okay, and maybe they'll develop. But
you can only hope.
Well, but I'm looking at this saying I'm not comfortable with. So if Biotish leaves, we're going with Hoffman. If Tyron Smith leaves and Chuma Edoga leaves, then you really have no backup left tackle. I know Tyler Smith could slide over, but then that puts TJ Bass as your starting guard. I mean, I know they're going to go get other big guys that can fill that role. And while you say they've drafted well, I don't know that they might have drafted well, but they haven't developed well at the offensive line position.
Well, so Biotish has got to be a priority. You have to retain Tyler Biotish. I don't think you have a choice there. If you're the Cowboys, you've got to keep this guy. Tyron Smith, I think it's going to come down to money. You know, what is he going to be offered, and what are the Cowboys willing to pay to keep him around? He has made a lot of money. The guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. Will he stay on a team-friendly deal? That remains to be to see. But again, the Cowboys have got a lot of money they've got to spend this offseason. They are going to be breaking the bank. And some guys are going to have to try and get some better deals out of these guys. And if you're these guys, you don't want to do that.
All in, says Jerry Jones. We'll see what all in really means. But when you look at on the defensive side, Gilmore is a free agent. Seems like Zimmer is a big fan of Gilmore. Jaron Kearse is a free agent. Jordan Lewis is a free agent. And man, I'd hate to lose J. Lou. Hankins, the long snapper, you need him. Neville Gallimore is a free agent. Dante Fowler is a free agent. Dorrance Armstrong is a free agent. Corner C.J. Goodwin is a free agent. I know those are the unrestricted guys.
Yeah.
I mean, your only restricted free agent is Rico Dowdle.
I tell you, Cowboys have got a lot of work to do. They've got a lot. We talk about the big names, obviously, and Dak and C.D. Lamb and Micah Parsons, but they got a lot of work to do with the other tier guys, and a lot of those guys are important. So, look, Zimmer's going to come. He's got you. How you get them, if it's free agent through the draft or whatever, they've got to get some linebackers in there that can play.
Yeah.
I don't know if Overshone's the guy or not. We really didn't get an opportunity to see him play because he got hurt. But Zimmer's going to want some linebackers. And I think he's going to want some beefy linebackers, not these small guys.
You know, combination of both, however they need to do it. Miguel Martinez on YouTube says Cowboys need to keep Hankins. I'm not so sure.
Well, I mean, it depends on Mozzie Smith, doesn't it?
Well, yes. You still need depth. But, I mean, Hankins was a castaway from the Raiders? And, quote-unquote, run stopper. What was the issue last year for the Cowboys defense?
Run.
Stopping the run?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say it depends on what he costs to keep, but I'd like to try somebody else. I mean, he's one of those guys, if he's not there, I don't know that we're going to miss him because I can replace him just as easily and be mad at somebody else just as easily as I can be at Hankins. He certainly played well for Dallas, a lot better than what he was doing with the Raiders. But I'm not losing sleep if Hankins goes somewhere else because we'll just replace him.
Look, you drafted Mozzie Smith, number 1.
Yeah.
Right. So he's got to be the guy, and you've got to decide is he the guy or is he not? And if you want to keep Hankins around, if you can get him cheap and have him back up. but I think it's time for Mozzie Smith to be starter day one. I mean, you got to see what you've got in this guy, or you wasted another, a number one draft pick. They already wasted the second one with the tight end, and then their last one with the gadget guy. So they didn't have a very good draft last year at all. I mean, it was poor, as it turns out right now. Yes, you agree with that. It's hard to disagree with it.
It is hard to disagree, but I always reserve judging drafts until 3-4 years down the road.
Not when you draft them number one. That you got to produce.
Well, yeah, your first two picks need to be immediate impact players, and the Cowboys weren't.
No.
But yeah, right now it's looking like a bad draft for Will McClay.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
But but outside of those two picks and the Deuce Vaughn deal, I mean, it was a good draft.
So 50-50. Yeah, 3 of them were okay. The other 3, not so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. As it stands at this moment in time. Yes.
If Mozzie develops,
he's got to develop. He has to develop this season. I mean, he's got to be an impact player because the Cowboys need him. They drafted him because he could stop the run. He didn't do any of that, nor did anybody else. He's got to prove himself this year.
Got to develop. And everything that I keep hearing about Mike Zimmer, technique, discipline, I think Mozzie Smith will benefit or be gone based on what Zimmer can get out of him.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of like that fresh, I don't know, like you got a new boss, you better get it or you could be gone,
mm-hmm.
right? Kind of mentality. Yeah. And Zimmer is certainly that kind of guy. Although I do believe the San Antonio Spurs are very proof that you can actually add a first-round pick and not be any better, despite what that first-round pick does on a basketball floor. Last night, it was on display once again. Wemby doing Wemby things, and the Spurs just continuing to suck. A great start, an awful finish.
The better team just came out to play. They realized they were in a hole and said, okay, we're playing the Spurs. Let's turn it up a notch. They did, and they whacked them.
Yeah, let's talk about what we saw last night from our San Antonio Spurs. Heading into the All-Star break.
I got to tell you, man, there's some sound from Pop that just
what, Joe?
Grinds my gears.
Grinds your gears?
Yes, it does.
All right. Joe's going to lose his mind.
Yes.
Next on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you need a new dentist, or if it's been a while since you've been to a dentist, you need to know about My Dentist and go see Dr. Smith over at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Maybe you have been to a dentist and they said you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to do that and you're not really sure. Well, go get a second opinion at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. They can handle all your dentistry needs from general dentistry to oral surgery. They can take care of cleaning and whitening, crowns, fillings, dental implants, wisdom teeth extraction. Smile Structure can handle every aspect of your dentistry needs, and they even offer general anesthesia, sedation, and cosmetic dentistry. Not many people can say that they love their dentist. I can say that because I've been going to Dr. Smith for years. He's former Army. A lot of people there are former military that work for Smile Structure. They cater to veterans, which I appreciate. He's not going to lecture you about this or about that. He's going to do the work, and you're going to feel good about it. And he's just a cool dude to talk to. So right now, you can get a free exam and x-rays when you mention 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Medicaid and all PPO insurance is accepted. They offer a dental savings plan if you don't have dental insurance, and they offer discounts to uninsured veterans. They have 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, it's All-Star Weekend. RJ and I look forward to every event. We pick the winners and possible losers, and it will involve a video court.
Plus, Mike Zimmer is officially the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. What needs to be on his to-do list? We have the answers, and the weekend starts today, but we have to air those grievances first. We start at 6. We'll see you there.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
Top of the seventh looks like a pitching change as they've set up for a corner kick. The two black belts have entered the mat, and the slider is low and away. He heads the ball to midfield. This is quite a kumite. Here comes the roundhouse. Has it got enough gas to get out of here? Unbelievable! They've bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Kick savings pitch karate.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Hi, this is Scott Trout at Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com.
This year, wouldn't it be great to stop dealing with thin, brittle, shedding hair and instead have the thick, healthy, gorgeous hair you've always wanted? Well, now you can by using Hair Volume from New Nordic. Hair Volume is one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Available in tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is the all-natural solution trusted by millions of women around the world to say goodbye to thin, brittle, shedding hair. That's because Hair Volume contains a proprietary formula, including apple extract, which is clinically proven to promote thicker and healthier hair. You don't need to feel embarrassed by thinning hair. You don't need to keep dealing with shedding. All you need is daily Hair Volume tablets or gummies to start looking and feeling your best. Look for Hair Volume at your local Walgreens and CVS or online at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com. Go to NewNordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Hair Volume at your local Walgreens or CVS.
This is the home of the Aggies. This is Andy Marco. You're locked on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. You can get us on Twitter at Joe Reinagel210. You can tweet at me at Jason Minix, the station at SA Sports Star. You can listen online, sasportstar.com, streaming brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel, and you can comment there. We're high tech, right? I mean, we're high tech. We're in 2024. We just got an email from the big boss. Did you see this email?
Just now?
Yeah.
I did not.
19 minutes ago, just now.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah. Faxing.
Uh-huh. Oh, I did see that.
We will be doing away with faxing by the end of the month.
I can't remember the last time I sent a fax.
Who still uses a fax machine?
I have no idea.
I can't recall the last time I got a fax or even wanted to send a fax. Now, I say that our copy machine, you can fax through the copy machine. So is that what's going away?
Probably that's what's going away now.
Because basically you scan it, turns into a PDF.
Yes.
And actually, I call it faxing.
You can email it.
It gets
right?
emailed, right?
Yes.
So yeah, you're right. I have no idea. We still have where is the fax machine? I mean, we don't even have phones on our desk anymore. Is that in Lance's office? Well, maybe. Remember, National Signing Day,
exactly.
And that's like I think coaches were the last to use a fax machine, and that went away. It feels like a decade ago.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I sent a fax or got one. So I'm glad to see that here at Alpha Media we're getting into the
how long we've been paying for a fax machine, not realizing the fax machine was in a box in the back storage closet or something.
I bet you Greg Shelton still gets faxes. He looks like a fax guy.
No.
Of course, that's our engineer, in case you don't know.
No, grumpy ass Greg Shelton. Faxing would be too much work for him. But he's really one of those high-tech guys.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I walked into his office yesterday because apparently some equipment didn't make it back from the Super Bowl.
Uh-oh.
Now, I have no idea what he's talking about that's missing. I'm going to guess it's somewhere in Tim Spence's luggage. But I walk into his office, and he's watching a YouTube video on how to convert like a truck trailer into something, I'm not really sure what, but it's like, I'm like, what the hell are you watching? And it was, because he likes Greg doesn't like people.
No,
Shelton does not like people.
Not
His idea of a great vacation is going out to West Texas and not seeing another human for days.
Yeah.
And he lives out of a trailer or a tent or whatever the hell it is that he does out there. But he was trying to figure out how to convert like the back of his truck into some sort of sleeping quarters.
Really?
It was very interesting, very MacGyver-ish, very who in the hell does this?
Grizzly Adams type of stuff.
It's Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly Adams.
That's your reference?
Yes.
There were no bear shootings involved here.
Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly Adams.
He looks like that with that scruffy beard. Rawr.
And he sounds like a pirate.
Grizzly
Adams sounds like a pirate.
Oh, Greg Shelton.
Wow. And yeah, he probably does fax things.
Yeah, he
probably
does.
Faxes in his order to the pizza place.
Probably.
Yes.
Can you still do that? Holy cow.
I haven't seen a fax machine.
Wow.
Thought about a fax machine. I'm gonna check something real quick.
Uh-oh, what are you checking? Last time you sent a fax?
No, if they said they literally still put the fax number on our business cards. Now we all need new business cards because there's no more fax machine.
So when you hand that out, just say, we see that number on the bottom. It doesn't work anymore.
What does the F mean on your business card in those numbers? Well, that was fax machine.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, it's a great conversation starter.
Well, I bet you half the people that are listening to us right now, the younger version anyway, have probably never even heard of a fax machine.
I don't know. I mean, Edwin just pulled up on the screen in here. It's not making it to YouTube because Ryan's slacking. But I mean, you can buy fax machines still that even have telephones attached to them.
Oh, wow.
I mean, because I used to have a direct line on my desk in my office. And
a
that went
fax
away.
machine.
No, a phone. And now it's on the business cards because they just gave us new business cards when we changed our logo again. And so they just put the main number on there. And, so you talk to Iris, and then I don't know what Iris does if somebody calls that because it's not like she could transfer that call to my office.
Is there a phone that Iris uses, like a regular phone?
Yes.
Wow. I can't remember the last time I made a call with a regular phone.
But again, I don't know what she does if somebody calls. How does she
Hey, Jason. Line one.
I mean, but I don't have a phone on my desk anymore to go line one.
Well, you got to walk up there.
So I got to go take like you're in prison, you go up there, do you stand at the window and have your conversation? But if other people are calling, Iris can't answer the calls. I think she could forward those to your cell phone.
Oh, she
But I don't know.
Well, that's
You know,
that's
when
an
was the last
interesting
time
topic.
somebody called the main office?
I don't know. I've
Remember-
never gotten a call on my cell phone from Iris. No.
Well, you're missing out.
Well,
When she calls you, it's wonderful.
I go see her every now and then for like supplies.
That's all you go see her for?
Yeah.
Is when you need a paper clip or a sticky note?
Yes. What do you go see her for?
Oh, we talk music.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're more of a music guy. I'm not.
I am.
So-
And she works while she works here in our building.
Uh-huh.
She's a DJ on a station in Portland. It's
Oh,
an
wow.
alternate rock music
Really?
station.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think she's on in Peoria, Illinois. And what
Wow.
else is she on? She's in a lot of places.
How about that?
Yeah. Technology is wonderful.
It is.
And, she probably gets, her playlist from the station in Portland faxed over to her every day. So now I have no idea what the hell she's going
to do now?
Exactly. Iris is awesome.
She is awesome. Yes. Very nice. Always.
Yes. We were talking about the new Pearl Jam song that just got released.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. Jeez. I'm sure it's great.
Or the Machine Head concert that's coming up.
Sam over here across the hall was listening to George Strait.
On Jack FM?
Well, he wasn't, I don't think he was playing that on Jack FM.
Oh, he was just listening to it?
And it was loud.
Yeah?
It was great. So we were over there toe tapping.
You were toe tapping with Sam?
Yes.
I don't know if you're supposed to say that out loud.
Well, we weren't touching each other, or we just.
Well, you just said you were tapping toes.
Well, I was tapping mine. He was tapping his.
Really?
In space.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
How much space?
I don't know, about 5 feet.
There's not 5 feet in his studio.
Well, I wasn't inside the studio. I was outside. I just opened the door because I heard the music.
Really?
Yes.
And
finally some quality music
and
in
so
this
you
place.
were toe tapping with Sam.
Yes.
Does Sam know that you guys were toe tapping
Absolutely,
together?
he knows. Yes. He enjoyed it.
You sure?
I didn't realize Sam was a big George Strait fan.
I don't know that he is.
He is. He told me he was.
Well, he probably lied to you.
He said he's got 2 George Strait albums, like vinyl, at his house.
Those are his wife's.
Well, I don't care whose they are.
Sam will be at a Slipknot concert, not a George Strait concert.
I beg to differ, sir. I bet you he will be at a George Strait concert.
Well, because his wife wants to go see George.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, but a lot of guys will go see a concert that they don't want to because their wife wants
George
to go.
Strait is the king of country music.
He is.
So
I'm not saying
what's that? Why do you hate George
I'm
Strait?
not saying there's a story. I'm not saying anything bad about George
You
Strait.
did something wrong, obviously.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Well, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
You disrespected the guy.
Well, dude, it was a long time ago.
Well,
I mean, but
does he hold grudges?
Yes. Yeah, he
does.
probably wrote a song about it.
He's not Taylor Swift.
I mean, he might. It's his fault.
Really?
Yes.
Dude,
You know the story.
Well, I do, but
It's still his fault.
It's not his fault.
It's his fault.
I tried to interview him when I was doing Spurs sidelines. And he was over there, and Mike Kickarillo says, "Hey, well, George Strait, so let's see if you can get an interview with him."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, yeah, that'd be great." I walk over there, and Mr. Strait, you mind? Yeah, I was like, Mr. Strait. And I said, "You mind if we talk to you when we come back from the break?" Well, what do you want to talk about? Well, I don't know what you're doing. You basketball, the Spurs, and he looked up at me and he goes, "Nah."
He said no.
He said no.
Oh, come on.
So I left there with my tail between my legs. Still a big George Strait fan, though.
George Strait, I guess 95, 96. I'm doing overnights at KJ 97. And George Strait lost his dog. Remember, he pulled into his house, left his dog in the back of the truck. Hours later, came out, dog was gone. Remember, he's taking full page ads in the newspaper. He was looking for his dog, all distraught. And, KJ at the time, they still might be doing it, plays 2 George Strait songs an hour.
They should still be doing it.
Smart ass 22, 23-year-old, 24, whatever I was. DJ in the middle of the night said, George might need to rewrite this song instead of Gone as a girl can get. I said he should change this one to Gone as a dog can get. Then a few minutes later, it's when Clear Channel owned it, and they all lived here. Hotline rings, which was like, and it's the big boss of, and I had to call George straight and apologize.
You had to call him and apologize.
Yes, I called him and
did George call the big boss?
George called him. He was mad.
Wow.
And so I had to call George and apologize.
Who's that smart ass kid on the radio?
Yeah, Mr. Straight. I was just trying to be funny.
That's hilarious.
And then a couple years later, I'm emceeing an event. He was there. I thought it'd be funny, and I'd tell him the story, and he just looked at me and walked right off. He didn't say a word to me the rest of the time. Love
Dude,
George
you don't
Strait.
mess with a man's dog.
Dude, he left in the back of the truck.
Well, dog shouldn't have jumped out.
And again, it sounded like a perfect country song.
Hey,
dog shouldn't have jumped out.
It shouldn't have. Dog's well trained. Stay in the back of the truck.
Clearly, it wasn't well trained.
Apparently not. Out chasing a rabbit or something.
It might have been.
Probably.
Never came back.
Never did?
Country song.
Uh-oh. What kind of dog was it?
Well, it's a long gone dog at
Apparently.
this point. Gone as a dog can get. Country song.
Well, sort of.
Aren't they all?
You can include that lost dog in the song, but it can't be all about that.
Dude, think about country song.
Uh-huh.
Broken down truck, girls gone, beer drinking.
Yes.
I mean,
Mama.
Yeah, I mean, there's a formula.
Sure.
We're all attached to our dogs,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sounds like a good song to me.
Well, obviously not. I don't. George got a lot of hits, but none of them are gone, dog, gone.
Somebody out there is going to write that song at some point. RJ Ochoa chiming in on our group chat.
Uh-oh.
Guarantee y'all each have sent a fax in the last 5 years.
No, have not.
No. I can't remember the last fax I sent or received.
I don't know that I would know how to do that anymore. It was wonderful technology when it came out, though. It was like, wow, you can do that.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Exactly.
It saved Harrison Ford on that movie when he was the president. He sent a fax to the vice president, and great. Air Force One is the name of that movie. That was the name of that movie. Yes.
Took you a minute to come up with that?
It did. I had to remember that. Saved Harrison Ford's butt.
The fax did.
The fax. Yeah.
Yes.
That's how he let everybody know the plane was being hijacked.
Because he sent a fax.
Sent a fax.
Now you can send a text.
Yeah.
Probably send a photo.
How about that?
Yeah, FaceTime somebody. Send a I just can't believe we're getting rid of the fax machine here at Alpha Media.
Who's going to save our bacon? And we're in trouble. Who are we going to send a fax to?
Well, the question is, if you send it, somebody's got to have a fax machine on the other end to actually receive it.
Exactly.
Who has that?
Who is sending it off in space?
Does anybody out there still use a fax machine? Let us know. With modern technology, tweets at Joe Reinagle 210, at Jason Minix. Comment on the YouTube. That was a great Spurs segment, was it not?
Sure was. I do want to deal with this Spurs, though, because Pop really irritated me.
Pop irritated Reinagle.
Yes.
What else is
It
new?
sounds like a country song.
It sounds like...
George, if you're listening, Pop irritated Joe. You can drink a cold beer to that.
Uh-huh. Tap your toe with Sam.
That's right.
Little playing footsies with Sam I Am from Jack FM.
Oh, my goodness.
Good Lord. Dave Campo, the former Dallas Cowboys head coach, is going to join us here on the Blitz at 4:30 to talk about his former DC that is now the current DC of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get his thoughts on Mike Zimmer getting the job up in Dallas as defensive coordinator. Should be interesting. You think about things that, were great once that are going away.
Uh-huh.
Kind of, some news just kind of hits you different, even though you kind of expect it. We'll dive into a story as the Masters is right around the corner that kind of got you in the fields. We'll talk about that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Stevens Roofing, the one name in roofing that stands high above the rest. Been talking about Stevens Roofing for a long time, and they are absolutely the best when it comes to roofing in San Antonio and South Texas. You know, really a quality roof overhead by Stevens Roofing. It means comfort. It means confidence. It means peace of mind, protection for all the things that you love. We're heading into the spring storm season. You want to make sure that the roof is up to par and can handle anything that Mother Nature is going to throw at it. Stevens Roofing is the company you need to call to make sure that it is. Because when you're in the market for repairs or replacement roof or an upgrade, you work with that experienced team that brings local roots, value, and a vast knowledge of their craft to every job. That is Stevens Roofing. They do both commercial and residential. Give them a call today if you need repairs, if you're thinking about a new roof, or you just want to make sure yours is okay. 210-785-0994. You can also get them online at stevensroofing.net. Call them today. Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A four-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of four can sign up together. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open with a true Vegas feel. The Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Roo Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA. San Antonio's Sports Center.
It is all-star break time for the Spurs. They go in with that big loss in Dallas last night. They enter the break with just 10 wins on the season, despite a breakout rookie season from Victor Wembanyama. He and Jeremy Sohan will head to the all-star festivities to participate in the Rising Stars game. And Tiger Woods back on the golf course participating in the Genesis Invitational.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions.
Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Howdy. Oh, howdy.
Turn your mic on. See, Pledge isn't here to do that for you.
I know it. Pledge spoils me. We'll get Edwin working on it, though.
See, Edwin probably learns, especially working with Rob.
Uh-huh.
Let Rob turn his own mic on.
Yeah. How many times, Edwin, does Rob not do that and try to talk and there's no mic?
He used to do it a lot, at least twice a show.
Yeah.
But also,
he doesn't do it now?
But
Not as much.
you got to be careful, because if Edwin were to turn it on and Rob wasn't ready for it to be on, you don't know what Rob might be saying under his breath, right? So,
yeah.
Sometimes there's things it's better to control your own.
Sure.
Yes.
I will try to remember
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edwin filling in, doing double duty today. So show Edwin all the love, because James Pledger is off on a ski trip. And apparently, as he's driving out to go skiing in Ruidoso, New Mexico, they have stopped in Roswell for lunch. And there's a great diner in Roswell. It's out of this world. And if you're watching on YouTube, I don't know that I want to say this on air, but I'll show the picture on YouTube of something that Pledge probably bought in a gift store. So go to the SA Sports Star YouTube channel, and I will show you this photo. It takes a rare person to buy something like this, and I'm kind of concerned that they actually are selling these just like in a regular convenience store. But if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the coffee cup that I'm sure James Pledger has bought in multiple colors, because there is a green one, a pink one, and it looks like there's one with some black trim as well, with an interesting saying on it. Very Beavis and Butthead-ish, if you know what I mean.
See, I know you're going to make fun of me, but I don't understand. I don't get it. So what is that like I guess I haven't seen that episode of Beavis and Butthead, but
well, I don't think it's actually from Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't say cornholio.
It does not.
No. I don't get it. Is that like it's some dude being lifted up into a UFO?
Yes.
And
you know Roswell, New Mexico, the aliens, right?
Sure.
Like, and have you ever been to Roswell?
I never have. No.
The street lamps all look like aliens. It's a tourist attraction.
Sure.
I
get it.
You go there and you buy all the crap with aliens on it.
Well, what does my hiney have to do with it?
Well, it's not.
I don't get it. Somebody explain this to me. It's probably funny as hell, and I don't understand it.
It just says, "Ask me about my butthole."
For what? No. I mean, why would you? I'm like, hey, dude, come here. How's your? Now, Miguel Martinez on YouTube says probes in the bunghole, Joe. So do aliens stick things up your behind? Is that how they get info? Woo! Dude, my doctor's an alien then.
Somebody help me.
Dude, are you kidding me? Moon
Poor
River.
Poor Edwin's turning red.
It's been a while since you've done this show, huh, Edwin?
I forgot what it used to feel like.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's do the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
You all right?
No.
Somebody, please, you got to explain that coffee cup to me.
Joe Reinagel,
please.
210.
Yes.
Tweet him all your various references. Go back to that page you were just on there, Edwin. The next one. Because that might be the appropriately named place. You're having trouble going back to it. Damn it. I think it was a place called the Invasion Station. which would be the perfect place to find that coffee cup. Yeah, look at that. It's called the Invasion Station.
But they're talking about invasion of the aliens, not invasions of your.
I think it could be a multi-use name.
Yeah.
If they're selling coffee cups like that, that would be the Invasion Station. Not the kind of thing that I'd want on my coffee cup. Could you imagine having that at work?
No.
HR might have an issue.
They might.
Well, maybe not with the cup, but with the conversations that the cup would lead to.
You think they'll have an issue with this radio show today?
No.
Good.
No, these 4 hours are HR free.
Good.
Now, if it's your office, I have no idea. Our office, we're good.
We're good.
We're good. Hopefully in your office as well.
Yes.
But that's what headphones are for. For those of you that are watching at work.
We appreciate it, by the way.
The Masters coming up. It's been announced. Vern Lundquist will call his final Masters this year. 40 years.
Jeez.
And Vern Lundquist is, I mean, you realize as you get older, at some point, all these legendary broadcasters are going to stop doing what they're doing. Some of them you think, well, maybe they should stop. Others, when I still hear Vern Lundquist, he still seems so sharp. It was weird not having him during football. It will be even stranger not having him at the Masters at Amen Corner.
That unique voice that he has. He has a unique voice and just smooth. I mean, he's smooth as silk, this guy, and I love it. And Vern is one of those guys that I mean, he's nice to everybody. I MC several events up at was it TLU now? Because he holds a thing there once a year to raise money for the athletic department. I think he's still doing that, but he would bring guests in, big name guests. So it was an honor to meet that guy and an honor to be around him and an honor to talk with him and interview him. So yeah, that is kind of sad, but it'll make the Masters worth watching this year for sure.
As if you needed another excuse.
True, especially with Tiger back. Tiger playing this weekend. He's been off for 8 months. He's playing well. Last I checked, he was 1 under par.
And now that he's with TaylorMade, it seems that we've got a new Tiger based on some social media clips. There's video of Tiger, and a friend of mine sent me this on Instagram. He's reaching into his golf bag and discreetly putting in a dip. I didn't know that he was a dipper. And then there's also a video of him, and TaylorMade put this video out, said, we do our research because they're at the Riviera Country Club. And I know, Joe, you don't give a damn about In-N-Out Burger, but in LA, and a lot of people, they like the In-N-Out Burger. But the TaylorMade put out the video, says we do our research because they're handing out In-N-Out burgers. Tiger, no pickles. And the the lady that handed him the burger, you don't really see her on camera, but you can hear her. So now she's got an opportunity to make small talk with Tiger Woods while he's getting lunch. And you know what she said to him?
What'd she say?
So you're not a pickle guy, huh? He's like, no, not a pickle guy, but his In-N-Out burger, no pickles and no spread. So just basically your cheeseburger, the
dry.
Well, I mean, you know how they do the animal style that you could do there at In-N-Out?
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently he's not a fan of that or the pickles.
Well, they don't have much on their burgers anyway, right?
Well,
I mean,
they got the thick cut onion and tomato.
That's it.
Onion, tomato, pickle, which Tiger doesn't want, and then you can get an animal style, which apparently Tiger doesn't want. And then Tiger's getting just hammered in the comments for those that think you have to go animal style, or how can you not have pickles on your burger? Who the hell cares? Eat it your way.
Well,
but could you imagine? Like, it's Tiger Woods. What am I going to say to him? Not a pickle guy, huh?
Of all the questions you could ask at that moment.
Not a pickle guy.
That's kind of strange, though, right? I mean, I like pickles.
So you find them strange.
Well, it's a little strange. You got to have a little mustard on there or something. I mean, you got to have something on there to make an In-N-Out burger edible.
In-N-Out's not bad.
It's horrible.
Oh, it's not horrible.
Overrated.
Well, I mean, for you.
It's overrated.
But, I mean, what I don't like is people that compare In-N-Out to Whataburger.
Can't
two different style of burgers.
Yeah.
Very, very different style. And to me, when I'm in LA, I love an In-N-Out burger. In San Antonio, man, when they first opened, I went and had one, all right. To me, there's something about having one in California that says, man, I'm in LA. I mean, It's like, we're in Las Vegas last week and they opened up a Whataburger. Well, I'm in no rush to go have a Whataburger on the Strip.
I didn't know that. Where'd they open up a Whataburger?
Right there on the Strip.
Really?
I'm going to be in Vegas again next weekend.
Are they going to have a Whataburger?
Probably not.
No?
Although it looks like one badass Whataburger.
I'm
one
sure
that's got a full bar, couple of different levels. You can have a Whataburger overlooking the Strip. They
slot
got
machines in there or blackjack tables.
On that part of the video, I didn't see.
That's pretty cool.
But
I'll be there next month, and I doubt that I'll go either, because I like in the casino.
Yeah,
hotel,
you won't leave
and
the
then
casino.
back to the airport.
Yeah, you're going to try to go see Carrot Top?
No.
So meeting the guy, you don't want to go see him?
Not really. I mean, he's probably great. I just don't. That's not what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
Oh. It was so weird being in Vegas and just being a regular schmo. I mean, you're like working. They have a town, and it's like people actually go to work. And
we went to a wonderful restaurant that wasn't touristy.
I know.
Packed.
It was
Super
great.
Bowl week.
It was great.
Well, we spent 5 days at the Mandalay Bay and didn't drop a nickel in that casino,
Not
which I
in that
find
one.
very weird. Drop nickels elsewhere.
We did.
Call it regular schmo. Went to a grocery store. They have those there.
I can't believe it. Yeah, my sister lives there. She tries to tell me these things, but I didn't believe her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we were there for the Super Bowl, and there's still so much Super Bowl talk going on. Now you got Bosa insinuating that the 49ers defense was ill-prepared to face the Chiefs. Now, their defensive coordinator has been fired. A lot of people up in arms over the fact that they fired Steve Wilkes. Question does become, though, had San Francisco won the game, was Steve Wilkes still going to be fired, even if they won the Super Bowl? Because there seemed to be some friction between Wilkes and Kyle Shanahan leading up to the Super Bowl. They played well enough in that game. Let's be honest. You hold the Chiefs to 25 total points, 19 in regulation. Yeah. If San Francisco, that dominated the first half, scores touchdowns instead of field goals, they might win that game. Now you got Bosa saying, yeah, we weren't ready.
And that surprises me, because I thought their defense played pretty well. Both defenses played well in that game. So for Bosa to come out and say that, it really is a surprise. I don't know. I thought they played well. I was surprised that Steve Wilkes was fired. So it had to be something else. Although their defense in the playoffs overall wasn't very good.
No,
I mean, against Green Bay or Detroit, it wasn't very good.
Which, if you're a Cowboy fan playing the what if game, because if the Cowboys beat the Packers, and then because that San Francisco team certainly didn't look as dominant, even though they made it to the Super Bowl. Kind of like the Chiefs all year, not as dominant as we're used to seeing, but they still make it to the Super Bowl. But the path for the Cowboys seems so open. They fall short, and you wonder, had they played a second time, the way San Francisco is playing at the end of the year, what could have happened?
Right.
Well, you get
What
Cowboy
could have been?
fans could what if themselves
Could have been
to death.
They wouldn't have gotten past Detroit, but okay, keep that fantasy alive.
Well, and that's certainly possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly possible. and now, the Travis Kelce backlash, if you will, from the Andy Reid situation. And I think Travis isn't getting hammered as much as I think most people would, although he is getting hammered, but I think because he owned it so quickly. He's talked about it. He talked about it immediately after the game. Every interview he did, he didn't try to make an excuse. He owned it and admitted it was bad. It was bad in the moment. He wouldn't do it again. Taylor Swift also saving Travis from some of that backlash.
I think so too. I think that's a big part of it. And the fact that Andy Reid came out right away and said, look, I love the guy. I love his passion, yada, yada. But it was a bad look. We said that, but he probably is. And I saw some comments on our YouTube page yesterday that, he was being saved by Taylor Swift. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. So interesting. And we've got a poll up on our YouTube page again.
We do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is In-N-Out overrated? I'm going to click yes.
I'm going to click no. We'll cancel it out.
Well,
if you guys think In-N-Out is overrated, we have a poll on our website on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Go to sasportstar.com's YouTube channel. I got all kinds of various comments. 9 votes in, it's 57%. Yes.
Well, now it's 50-50.
We'll see
Look
if
at that.
it changes. We'll see if it changes. Go vote in the poll. Why not? Ryan's in a poll mood.
He is in
That's
a poll
the second
mood.
poll he's put out today.
Attaboy, Ryan.
And
Keep him coming.
You would think he would let us know when he puts out a poll so we
Keep
could
'em
direct
coming.
people to go to the poll. Just saying.
Well, I check on our comments from time to time.
I'm glad. Somebody has to.
Yes.
Somebody has to. Mike Zimmer is the new defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. We learned yesterday during his introductory press conference that you heard live here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star that he and Marvin Lewis were doing a podcast last year. Now, a lot of you might have already known that, but obviously he says that, and now that he is officially the defensive coordinator, a lot of people are going through every one of his podcasts to find little nuggets that he might have said or did say about the Dallas Cowboys. One was found about his thoughts on the Cowboys secondary, Gilmore and Diggs, namely. What he said, very interesting, especially if you're Diggs. We'll talk about it and let you hear what Zimmer had to say last summer about Trayvon Diggs. That's coming up here next on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It is a Thursday. A little bit later on in the show, we're going to give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market as we do grilling with the Blitz. And if you're going to fire up that grill before you do it, you need to get into Tri-County because that great meal starts with great meat, and no better place to get your meat than at Tri-County Meat Market. Locally owned, full service. They have everything you need to up your grilling game. Beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and so much more. If you're not sure what you want, just walk up to the meat counter and let it speak to you. I know yesterday we had a nice ribeye that went on the grill that we did for Valentine's. And when you walk into Tri-County, the Huebner location, on the left-hand side, there's a frozen seafood section. If you want lobster tail, you want some crab, it's on there. It's fantastic. We did the ribeyes last night. Maybe you're thinking a tri-tip or a picanha. Their brisket burgers are incredible. The sausage that they have, their hot dogs are the best in town. Tri-County has what you need with the quality you expect, and you can always take advantage of their Pick 5 for 25. At Tri-County, they offer a 10% discount for military and first responders. 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner, or online at tricountymeat.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our motto is simple. George gets justice. But what does that mean for you? It means you get an award-winning team of attorneys who will fight for everything taken from you so that you can get back to what matters in life. When we say George gets justice, it's just not a motto. It's a commitment to you. Call us at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Rob Thompson here for SA Card House. It's where I go to get my poker on. They're over at 281 in Bitters, 13400 San Pedro Avenue if you are going to be using the map services. Easy to get to, open 7 days a week. Everything that I've been looking for. Look, I've played poker for years, and card houses have been a great experience, but let me tell you, you want to talk about next level, it's SA Card House, because they've got everything that I want. I'm not just a casual player. I like to play, but I like to play with folks I like. I like to be in an environment that I feel comfortable, enjoy the people around, the service and all that goes around that. I get all of that. And then you add in Foster's Grill, which takes SA Card House over the top. They have the opportunity, you have the opportunity to go play great cards in a great environment, a great place, and then add in a great meal made by worthy chefs. It is not pub grub. This is posh nosh. That's SA Card House. Games to be played, fun to be had. Go there today and thank me later.
When liberal Allen Schoolcraft served in the Texas House in the 80s and 90s, Schoolcraft voted for every Democrat House Speaker over and over again. Liberal Schoolcraft also donated thousands to Democrat Henry Cuellar, and liberal Schoolcraft authored legislation to double fees, but never cut taxes or protect life. In his last losing campaign in 1992, the San Antonio Express-News actually retracted their endorsement of Schoolcraft because he was caught lying about his opponents. Now, liberal Schoolcraft is lying about conservative John Campo and running with a dangerous plan that defunds Guadalupe and Gonzales County schools and hikes your taxes by $2 billion. Let liberal liar Alan Schoolcraft keep enjoying his retirement from politics. Conservative John Kimple is endorsed by the NRA, Texas Alliance for Life, and every police group. Kimple cut property taxes a historic $600. John Kimple gets it done.
Political ad paid for by the John Campo campaign.
Did you know COVID-19 vaccines have been updated this season? They're one of the best ways to help protect yourself against recent variants, and most people in the U.S. should continue to pay nothing out of pocket for COVID-19 vaccines. Uninsured or underinsured adults can receive them at no cost at participating Bridge program locations, and eligible children can receive them through the Vaccines for Children program at participating providers. For children, COVID-19 vaccines are at no cost, but there may be fees such as for the visit or administration. Book a vaccine option at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
Cowboys play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. The Blitz tomorrow live out at the Rue Pub, 281 and Redland Road. So come spend and start your Friday with us.
Please do that. Always fun at the Rue Pub. And I just plan to stay there a while. We got the Rising Stars Challenge tomorrow. You can see Wimby and Jeremy Sohan. Maybe Wimby will have some players that actually pass him the ball.
Yeah, we'll talk some Spurs coming up. Also coming up in about an hour, just over an hour, Dave Campo will join us, former Cowboys head coach.
Very cool.
Talking about Mike Zimmer, who is once again the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. And it will be fun talking to Coach Campo. He had a tweet today about Zimmer getting that job. He's very excited for his former defensive coordinator. And I saw that tweet and I texted Dave and said, you got to come on and talk about this. Because I do think now that Mike Zimmer is officially the guy, you got a lot of people that are coming around to what he might do that will make this already good defense better. And a lot of that's discipline, a lot of that's culture. And he talked yesterday during his press conference, his time away, he was doing a podcast with Marvin Lewis and paying attention. And it's the Cowboys. He loves the Cowboys. He talked about that. So a lot of people went back through all of the different podcasts that he did to find little nuggets on things that he has said about the Dallas Cowboys. because one of the things, and I never heard the podcast, but
I never
reading,
did either.
But reading about people that went through is, man, this guy's brutally honest with his player evaluations. And then
that's good.
Then there's this little nugget, if you will, or clip, whatever you want to call it,
nugget
of Zimmer and Marvin Lewis talking about the Cowboys secondary.
Well, the thing is, I worked out Gilmore, or I went to the workout when he come out of South Carolina. I loved him. He's long, good in and out of breaks. He's been I think 3 times All Pro or something like that. So I liked him a lot anyway. And he's got great acceleration. He's a tough, competitive guy, very good again in the press. And then you look at Diggs, and Diggs has probably the best hands of any corner out there. He catches everything. That's why he gets a lot of interceptions. I know that he doesn't play with his technique is hit and miss sometimes. He's a little bit of a riverboat gambler. And again, I do think he's good in the press when he wants to get up there and press. Sometimes he lines up 5 yards off and kind of side shuffles, and, he'll get beat on some double moves. So, I do think if he would get a little bit more discipline in his techniques and things like that, he may not have as many interceptions, but he'd deny a lot more players from getting the ball, and he would give up less plays.
I love that honest assessment, and it's absolutely true. And the question is going to be, will a guy like Trayvon Diggs listen to Mike Zimmer? Will he? Will Micah Parsons listen to Mike Zimmer? I think that is a legit question.
Yeah, yes. I mean, to answer your question, I would hope so, or they're not going to be long for the league or for the certainly for the Cowboys. The question becomes is how coachable are these guys?
That's it.
And because we give Al Harris so much credit. Al Harris is still on that staff. He is staying. Mike Zimmer made his bones in the league as a defensive backs coach. So if you're Diggs, you should be excited to have a guy like this come in, because if he can teach you something, a little bit on technique, a little bit on discipline, and based on our conversation last week on Radio Road with Andrew Sandejo, who was a safety with the Vikings, seeing some comments from Harrison Smith, who was in that secondary on the Vikings, seeing comments this week from Darren Woodson, who should be in the Hall of Fame, damn it, about Zimmer making them better with technique, with film study, discipline. But when I hear that from Zimmer, he might have less interceptions. Will Diggs be okay with that? Don't be the gambler, but be better at your position. What's most important to Diggs?
That's exactly what we're going to find out when it comes to that. The interceptions are the sexy thing, right? Deron Bland made his, fame, I guess, if you will, with the pick sixes. And Diggs, what do you have? 10 interceptions his first year?
Yeah, he had a lot. But again, it's one thing, when you're going for the picks, and you kind of live with the good and the bad. He's going to make a lot of big plays, but in the ability or the effort of trying to make said play, you might give up a big touchdown. You might give up a big completion. The thing with Diggs, and we didn't, last year, he got hurt. So, but you go back a year, he made a business decision in San Francisco by not hitting George Kittle while he was bobbling the ball all the way down. And there was some big tackles that he didn't want to making business decisions in my mind. I don't think he will get away with that as much with Zimmer, but at the same time, he had all those interceptions, and then he got a little bit better, fewer interceptions, but more pass breakups. So I expect those numbers to go up quite a bit with the interception numbers going down.
You better hope that was just a business decision. Or is he one of those guys that just does not like contact? And there are a lot of guys that have played that don't like contact. And so it's going to be interesting to see. if you're a cornerback, you kind of need to tackle people. I mean, it's kind of comes with the job. Diggs has never been too keen on tackling anybody. It's going to be interesting to see. I think in this, I love what Mike Zimmer brings with the discipline and the culture and the all of it. But it's a different brand of player these days. We see that in the NBA. We're seeing it in the NFL. It's a different brand of player. And will that hard-nosed coaching play with this brand of Cowboy?
Well,
and it remains to be seen. And I think it's a question that's going to have to be answered.
One of the things that Mike Zimmer did talk about yesterday during his press conference is he said he has evolved. But the one thing that hasn't changed, he's still demanding.
I'm demanding. I try to get the best out of the players. But, to me, there's a difference. I had one player who was a terrific player, and you could not yell at him. You had to put your arm around him. You had to talk to him, whisper. He didn't like to be reprimanded in front of people. And so that's what I did with him, and he became a terrific player. Other players, I'd get after, and, probably know some of the names. One of them was here. But I'll say it to him, Pac-Man Jones, right? He gives me the biggest hugs now when I see him. But we've had our issues, going back and forth, and I think everybody's different. You try to hit the button, however it is to make them better.
And I hear that, and I think with especially a guy like Diggs, and I've interviewed him a couple times. I don't know him, but Zimmer will find what it takes to get the most out of him. That's what makes him a great. He has the reputation of being a jerk. He was even asked about that yesterday during his presser.
There's a reputation out there that I'm a jerk or something like that, which, hey, and it is what it is, I guess. But since it was announced that I was going to be here, I've heard from so many players that played for me, players here, not just defensive backs, but linebackers and defensive linemen, texted me and said how happy they are for me. And I think if I was such a jerk, I wouldn't be hearing from those guys.
Well, I hope you're a jerk. And I hope every one of those guys thinks you're a jerk. We're going to find out if the Cowboys want to win or they just want to play football and make money. If they want to win, then they'll listen to Zimmer. They'll play, they'll follow his direction, and they'll improve. If they don't, it'll be the same old Cowboys, and that's what it will be. When I see a Micah Parsons and you hear what he has to say on his podcast, what gives you any reason to believe that he's going to say, yes, sir, Mr. Zimmer, whatever you say? I don't see that. I don't see that at all. So I hope I'm wrong, but as I look at it right now and just going from what Micah has said and his attitude about his coaches and players, I don't see him falling in line and doing what he's told.
It's going to be interesting to see how a guy like Micah Diggs, how coachable they are, because they've gone from having a player's coach to having a coach that's going to be demanding, that would rather earn your respect and demand that than your friendship, especially while you're playing for him.
Yeah.
Because I think Zimmer said it best there. Playing for me, those guys probably hated me. Now they like me. It's kind of like my old journalism teacher, my English teacher.
Absolutely.
My old captain in the Navy. Friends with them now, but working for
they were
somebody,
jerks back then.
That's kind of.
But they made you better.
They made you better,
right?
And that's the key. And you appreciate them more after the time is over. And we'll ask that of Dave Campo, the former Dallas Cowboys head coach, who had Mike Zimmer as his defensive coordinator when Campo was the head coach of the Cowboys. Dave Campo will join us in about an hour from right now. So make sure you set an alarm and tell your friends that Coach Campo will be on the Blitz coming up at 4:30. A topic that is very near and dear to Joe's heart, my heart, our wallets. Texas continues to miss the boat when it comes to legal gambling. Man, there's a story out there about New York that just makes you go, why are our Texas legislators sitting on their hands?
Good question.
Dive into that next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ
Friday on the Morning Huddle, it's All-Star Weekend. RJ and I look forward to every event. We pick the winners and possible losers, and it will involve a video court.
Plus, Mike Zimmer is officially the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. What needs to be on his to-do list? We have the answers, and the weekend starts today, but we have to air those grievances first. We start at 6. We'll see you there.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax.
Touchdown!
A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at mrelectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-952-1155. That's 800-952-1155.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
It's 40 Love here in the third set. And there's the bell. She's coming off the bench hot, looking for a quick knockdown. But wait, she's driving to the hoop. Oh, down goes the champ. Now that's another double fault. She'll be shooting too. The serve is up. And here comes the left hook. She's bundled her home and auto insurance with Progressive. Swish, ace, savings, TKO.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. A little bit later in the show, we're going to judge meat and give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. So if you've got some great spread from your Super Bowl party, you've got those photos on your phone, upload them to sasportstar.com. Got a message a while ago. It's not working, dude. You probably already won. Try a different email and it probably works. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint, hint. Just upload those photos, the Grilling with the Blitz page at sasportstar.com.
Yeah, we're going to judge meat. Thursday's a good day for that.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Get you ready for the weekend.
Get ready for the
Do
weekend.
a little grilling. I think the weather's supposed to be nice this weekend.
Is it?
Yeah, and a lot of people off on Monday, so good 3-day weekend.
Nice. Nice. I could use that.
Edwin, can you make that screen bigger? I can't. Do you want to talk gambling or Gary Zimmer? Oh, it's Gary wanting to talk about Zimmer.
Yeah. See, I can read that perfectly.
Well, it's on your side of the room.
Well, that's not it. I mean, Parkhurst New Vision, baby.
Uh-huh. Hey, Gary, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Oh, I'm just going to say that, Zimmer, he's got that Parcells mentality. And most of these guys on the Cowboys have played for coaches like him at one time in their life. And if it was me, if I was Zimmer, I'm just going to get with McCarthy. I'm going to tell him this is how I'm going to be. If he asks me to make some adjustments, I will. Otherwise, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I would just tell the guys, look, if you can't handle this, maybe you need to get with Jerry and find somewhere else to go, because I guarantee you, don't let Micah fool you. He's going to toe the line. He's waiting to get that money. He can't do what he wants, because that money will motivate you to jump through some hoops right there. He will do what he's told, because nobody's going to pay you to do your own thing. That don't work. That dog don't hunt.
Well, Gary, it sounds great. It really does. And I hope you're right when it comes to that. I think Mike is going to get paid regardless.
And Mike has got to be more coachable than.
Well, and maybe he is.
And let's face it, if you loved your boss and he left, there is that human element, and we know that Micah is emotional, at times immature. He needs to meet Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer will lay down the law right away, as he said yesterday. And I think Micah will enjoy playing for him, like we've heard others. Like I'll go the guy you sit in that chair. Dat Win loves Mike Zimmer. Loves him.
He's an old school guy.
He is, but he and Dexter Coakley. Mike Zimmer made those two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bill Parcells at the time, and there's Dat's told this story forever. Bill Parcells did not like undersized linebackers.
No.
And he had a word that wouldn't be politically correct now, a nickname for his undersized linebackers, if you will. Starts with an M.
Okay. Yeah.
And Dad has told this story 1,000 times. And they would constantly come in, and Bill Parcells is working out bigger linebackers. Mike Zimmer had their back. And they weren't better than Dat and Dexter Coakley at the time. But it took a while for Zimmer to convince Parcells, these are the guys. These are who you're going with.
Well, like the way Dat Win played ball, though, that dude was, he was a big hitter, and he played bigger than his physical size.
Sure.
And so you just don't find guys like that. And, I'm anxious to see what Zim's going to do with Micah Parsons, because I think there's so many different ways you can use this guy. And I think Dan Quinn did not use him to his full potential.
And
So
according to
hopefully
Micah,
Zimmer will.
There were packages in every
That's
game that Dan Quinn just never calls.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it works. Dave Campo will join us coming up at 4:30 to talk about what he thinks Zim's addition to the Cowboys staff will do for the Dallas Cowboys. As we tell you all the time, you can comment on YouTube. We generally don't do a lot of shout outs, but Kevin Monk chimes in on YouTube, says, "Hey guys, my daughter is riding a sheep tonight at the rodeo.
Mutton busting.
Can you wish Everly good luck?"
Everly.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
Good luck. Mutton busting.
Hang on tight, Everly. Grab the sheep by the wool.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
Dude, I don't know.
You get the helmet and the vest and just hang on and hope you got a fast sheep.
Just hang on tight.
I've always thought, not that I've ever done this, nor would I. You want a fast sheep. Because if you've got a fast sheep, you get from A to B a lot faster, and your chances of falling off aren't as great, especially if it's A to B in a straight line.
I want a slow, fat one.
Well, yeah, but it's going to wander and kick your ass off.
Well, no, but I mean, I got a lot more room to lay down.
Dude, they're little kids.
I know. So can you imagine a big fat sheep? That kid can just lay there on have a burger.
If it's a fat sheep, it takes longer to get to A to B, so your chances of falling off are a lot greater, right?
Not if it's fat.
You start rolling, man. You're not stopping. They don't have guardrails on there.
I love mutton busting. It's always fun.
Funny to watch.
It's great.
So,
it's great.
Everly, have fun tonight.
Yes, and good luck. Hang on tight.
Who's at the rodeo tonight?
I don't know. Look at
Shane
Edwin
Smith and the Saints.
Who?
Shane Smith and the Saints. You've never heard of Shane Smith?
No.
And the Saints?
No, I have not. Have you?
I've heard the name. I don't know that I'd recognize the song. Of all the rodeo shows this year that I have no interest in going to, the one that I kind of thought about was last night or 2 nights ago with Robert Earl Keen. But I went to Robert Earl Keen's farewell show.
Obviously, it wasn't a farewell.
Well, it's his farewell at touring. It was the end of his touring days, but he has random gigs. I just, and God bless him. I love Robert Earl. But health-wise, he sits down for most of his show now.
That's too bad.
And I can't. When I think about, the road goes on forever and the party never ends. I need Robert Earl Keen up there swaying and doing his thing, not sitting on a chair.
We're going to see Styx next week.
Are you really?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Are they original still? I mean, or is it like a bunch of fill-ins?
I would
not that it matters.
I would use the old Google box for that.
I'm going to have to do that.
I'm thinking about going to see Machine Head on Sunday night.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That's great.
They're playing at the Aztec. You want to go see Machine Head?
I really probably won't go see them. No. Have fun though.
I don't know that you would enjoy Machine Head.
I just by judging by the name of that band, I'm sure it's pretty hardcore heavy metal stuff, right?
They've got like some good songs with like the Slipknot growl.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, that makes it better.
Edwin, can you pull up Machine Head? Play the video and just about the first minute of it. I think Joe Reinagel would love it.
The Slipknot growl.
Do you know Slipknot?
The Slipknot. I've heard of them. Couldn't tell you what they sing.
It's good heavy metal, man.
Yeah, well, I'm not opposed to that.
You would love it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Are we getting Machine Head?
Which song?
Anyone, doesn't matter.
No, dude, the video.
Oh,
yeah.
Which one? What's it called?
It's probably their most famous.
What is it?
You would like it.
What's it called?
Here we go. Hang on. Maybe not, because we got Machine Head tickets that we'll give away.
Do the video
right now. 619.
It was an advertisement.
Huh? Oh, it's an ad. You want to do caller 6 or 9?
Let's do 6.
All right, caller number 9, 656 ESPN, 656-3776. Turn it up. Little Machine Head Sunday night at the Aztec Theater.
Let's hear this.
If you don't win the tickets, you can buy them. LiveNation.com. 656-3776. Caller 9. Those tickets are yours. Turn it up, Edwin.
See, that's good.
I'm going to start singing along here in a minute.
I am?
You will. Right up Ryan Eagles Alley.
Hell of a long intro.
About a minute 10. Hair going.
You start hair banging and bang. I mean, that's good.
Yeah. You ready? Oh, this is the clean version.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's my Sunday night.
That's awesome,
Here we
dude.
go.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
You want to go?
No, I'm good.
I'm going.
I have
Sunday
to
night. Caller 9. You're going.
I have to paint the house or something. I don't know.
Fix the bed with a crescent wrench.
Dude, I did. It's perfect.
So Texas continues to miss the boat on gambling.
Yes.
Money. We need legal sports gambling in the state of Texas. And when I say we need it, we've all driven down roads. Schools need money. We have potholes. We have, and you think about
reduce our property taxes. How about that?
All of that. So, ESPN got into the gambling business. Penn Entertainment and ESPN Bet. A $2 billion deal. Now, Penn Entertainment was in bed with Barstool. When they got out of that, they jumped in bed with ESPN Bet. And some interesting things that I was reading in Front Office Sports. Penn Entertainment has just paid $25 million to acquire the New York sports betting license that was held by Wynn Resorts. That will allow ESPN Bet into the New York market. They have stayed out of that. Their CEO, in an earnings call in 2021 when they were with Barstool, said that the operating costs in New York were too high because in New York, 51% tax on operators' gross gaming revenues.
Unbelievable.
So they weren't going to be as profitable because, as the CEO called it then, a margin killer. So what has changed? Well, the amount of money being bet in the state of New York, even if it's on slimmer margins. New York, and look, DraftKings and FanDuel are killing it in the state of New York. Think about this. ESPN Bet wants to be in New York because the country's top sports betting market is New York, because large population states like California, Texas, and Florida have yet to fully embrace legalization. End of 2023, $19.1 billion in total handle in New York alone, an 18% increase over the 2022 handle, and $1.7 billion in gross gaming revenue, 60% larger than the number 2 state on the list, which is New Jersey.
Yeah.
One of the smaller states in our country. So even with smaller operating margins, the fact that they're going to make that much money in New York, and how much would they make in Texas?
They would make a ton. And I have to believe that it's coming sooner rather than later, just because of what's going on in Dallas with Cuban. He wants a casino and a new arena, and they bought, what was the people that own the
Palazzo and Venetian.
They bought the land where the old Texas Stadium was.
Irving.
Right there.
And the idea is to build a basketball arena attached to a casino.
Yes, and they're not paying all that money for that land for no reason. They got to know something.
Well, I mean, things might be trending in the right way. Last week when we were on Super Bowl Radio Row, we were talking with Derek Stevens, who owns Circa. You can go watch that video at sasportstar.com.
You should. It was an interesting conversation.
Because Derek Stevens told us he thinks Texas waiting. It will happen, but Texas has a chance to do it better. because there are states out there that are doing it right. There are states out there that are doing it wrong. And so since Texas is weighted, they can study the states that have done it right and wrong and do it better than everybody else. But when you look at New York, which is one of the states that gets hammered because of their taxes, FanDuel, DraftKings, all right, we're going to make less, but we're going to make more.
Yeah.
Right? And because of the taxes that New York has put on it, when you look at numbers like that, I don't understand why our legislators are weighting the way they are.
Yeah, well, I don't get it either. And so the only thing that we can hope, because what we were told last year, why it didn't come up for a vote, because Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor, said it was a Democrat idea, and he wasn't going to let the Democrats get credit for it. So I'm talking to all you Republicans out there. As long as Dan Patrick is in power as the lieutenant governor, please put in a bill for legalized sports gambling. Would you do that, please? So that way, at least maybe he'll give it to the voters to decide. And that's really all we want.
Well, that's it. If voters decide, it's kind of like something going on in my HOA. The people that run our HOA want to put speed bumps in our neighborhood. Doesn't seem like anybody.
Weren't there speed bumps there already?
We got a meeting tonight. Yeah, they put them in before, and they
Are
had to
you
take them
going?
out right away. Hell yeah! As soon as I get off
Are
work,
you really?
the meeting starts at 6. Man,
All right.
I'm going, man. Screw these people, man.
Somebody take video of that.
They're not doing studies. They're not doing anything, and nobody wants them except for one lady named Karen, right? So,
right.
And a couple other people, but they want to put them in without even a vote of the HOA, the people that live in our community.
Can't do that.
If there's a vote and people vote yes, all right, man, I'm good with it. If I want legal sports betting, and if it goes to the vote, it's on the ballot and it loses, all right. I just don't like suits saying we're not even going to let you guys decide.
Exactly.
That's not the way this country is designed. And we've got Democrats and we've got Republicans that both want it, but the bill was Democrats. So Lieutenant Governor said no. But it does feel like it's coming.
Is about the biggest political BS. I mean, just put it on the ballot. Let the people decide.
Levon Henry on our YouTube says, I think the politicians haven't figured out how they get money from sports gambling and marijuana. Yeah, well, that's another one. And here's the thing. They probably know. They're probably getting it to fight.
Well, they're getting it from Oklahoma and Louisiana.
We've had so many politicians on talking about this on both sides. I don't want to give credit to the wrong person, so I won't say who, but one of the politicians that we've talked to over the last 2 years when this has come up said there is less lobby money from those other states being spent in Texas to keep gambling out than before. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and longer, New Mexico, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Nevada, they spent a lot of money in Texas to keep that from happening.
Sure.
But apparently that has changed because once the national government said, yeah, it could be anywhere, they're spending their money in other ways now because all the casinos will benefit. It's coming up with what is the right plan. This resort, you get this part of the state, this resort, you get this, or however it's going to be. So everybody gets a little piece of the pie.
Just follow what's going on in Dallas and Mark Cuban, because he's not doing what he's doing. The folks that he sold the Mavericks to are not doing what they're doing unless they know something.
Yeah, trending in the right direction.
Right.
But when you look at 19.1 billion in total handle, an 18% increase year over year, Texas is just missing out.
Well, and I'd like to have my property taxes reduced. How about that?
Well, there's that too.
Yes.
It's all about Joe.
Well, of course it is. And I'd like to be able to gamble without having to cross the border and
do it legally.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
What are you saying? I'm doing it illegally?
I'm not saying anything, sir.
Okay. Just checking.
I don't know about VPNs.
Well, I mean,
nothing.
Got to do what you got to do.
Dave Campo will join us about 4:30, talking Mike Zimmer as the new defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available to you 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my home. They do fantastic work and have for over 3 decades. The family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. And whatever your project is, they've got the right service at the right price. And one of the great parts is there's never a service charge, and they always offer free estimates. So it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. So call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or hill-electric.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The President's Day weekend sale is here at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 20% off used clubs, 30% off select apparel, and get custom fit on the new TaylorMade QI10 drivers. Book your free custom fitting online today. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the President's Day weekend sale, or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for SA Card House. Over there on San Pedro, you know where it is, 13400 San Pedro right there in Bitters. One of my favorite places to go for a lot of reasons. It's not just about the restaurant and the bar, which is a reason to be. It's not just about the atmosphere and the great games and all the prizes that go along with being a San Antonio Card House member. It's a vibe. It's a thing that you get. Whether you're a brand new player, they have brand new classes for you to get you interested in playing, to teach you how to play the game. They got great membership rates. They've got food to serve at great atmosphere while you're playing, or if you just bring your friends and family to play. But it's an atmosphere of success and fun, and that's why I go to SA Card House, and that's why you need to give them a try. Go check out their website, sacardhouse.com, but you're not going to know until you go. It's a private social club waiting for you to come and play. It's at Bitters in San Pedro. It is my SA Card House. Head there today. Thank me later.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Texas Longhorns Athletic Director Chris Del Conte, well, he said in a town hall that grass football fields, or a field, is coming back to DKR. It's going to be there in 2026. He also says he wants to move the Texas A&M game to Thanksgiving Day instead of the Saturday after. We'll see if that happens. Tiger Woods back on the golf course. He's participating in the Genesis Invitational. Glad he's back.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52,
Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Happy Thursday.
It is Thursday.
It is. It means I can see the weekend.
And for a lot of people, 3-day weekend.
A lot of people it is.
It'd be kind of nice. Go play some golf.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the Golf Club of Texas.
Is it going to be nice out?
I don't know. Bill Taylor, you tell me.
You know, I wish I had those powers.
To tell me?
I can tell you, but I got to look it up.
You're supposed to know these things.
Look at Edwin's got it up here. Right now, it's 71 degrees in San Antonio. On Saturday, it looks like it's going to be cloudy skies, high of 54 degrees.
Okay, that's good.
Sunday looks really nice. Sunny skies. It's a little cool, 59. Monday, really nice, almost up to 70 in sunny skies. So there you go.
Sounds like we need to hit the golf course.
You're welcome. On Monday.
On any of the days. Take Friday off, make it a good 4-day weekend. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Speaking of golf, our Golf Classic happening Monday, March 25th out at the Golf Club of Texas.
That's going to be fun. And hey, if you're thinking about playing, you might want to sign up. We just got the numbers. We're just about halfway full, and it's pretty early.
Get your foursome signed up. It's $400. If you sign up as an individual, it's $120 a person. If you don't have friends, we'll find some for you.
Absolutely.
Benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Flight by Yingling's going to be out there. If you've been to our golf tournament before, you know.
Yeah.
If you haven't, you want to be.
You do.
It's always a lot of fun.
Always.
Great day of golf. Taking it out to the Golf Club of Texas. So, people say, well, what about this side of town? Well, we listen to you guys.
Yeah.
And the Golf Club of Texas is great. And they're doing so much work out there, not repairing, but replacing all of their cart paths. The driving range out there, the food at the Tin Cup's fantastic.
I'm telling you, if you haven't been out there in a while, you're missing out because they have improved that place like nobody's business. And the food out there is fantastic.
We were talking to a guy earlier. Man, I haven't played out there in about 10 years. Then what you remember different. And what it is, two different places.
Completely different. And with them redoing the cart pass, that's a major deal. But again, even if you're not a golfer, go out there, take your family out there for dinner or lunch or whatever. I mean, the rest of the food is fantastic. And I love that place inside there.
SASportsStar.com. Get your friends together, get ready to play golf, because I know a lot of people are doing that now. You know, it's that time of year, and with Tiger back this week.
Yeah.
With his new line of clothes.
That's a weird logo, isn't it? I mean, I guess it's supposed to be a tiger, but
well, it is a tiger.
It's kind of weird looking.
Well, it's
like a tiger skeleton.
Well, if it's standing straight up, it could look like Tiger's X-rays, after the car wreck.
Yeah, exactly.
It does have a skeleton look for it. Sunday Red, although it is available in multiple colors, even though the brand is called Sunday Red, and he's teamed up with TaylorMade. So
all of us good golfers play TaylorMade. I mean, that's what I hit. So
oh really?
Oh sure.
Uh-huh.
Tiger probably said, "Hey, Joe Reinagel plays TaylorMade."
Wearing a Sunday Red shirt, like you. Yeah. As soon as you saw Tiger had apparel, you went to Edwin Watts and said, "Where's mine?"
No, I haven't done that, but I don't know. I'll check it out. I think Nike wouldn't let him keep his other logo. I love that TW that he had. That logo was fantastic. But I think Nike has something to do with that, or he just wanted a complete change.
I imagine the amount of money. Although trying to be nice. The logo is interesting, and the way it's all done. Like somebody that's making a lot of money came up with that. And then you're sitting, I imagine, you're sitting in a boardroom and here it is. And everybody celebrates. And I feel like most kids could have come up with that on their phone. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the TW is one thing, or even the tiger that looked like it was just the tiger nails there for a while on his personal deal. It looks cool. And the photos, I've yet to see what the gear looks like in person. I haven't seen anybody wearing that yet.
Well, no, it just came out.
Well, I know,
but people will be.
I mean, are you surprised that you haven't run into somebody that's already wearing it?
No, not really. But I think, once folks get out, start playing golf again, I think you're going to see that a lot. I mean, Edwin has pulled up pictures of it here for us to see. And I mean, it looks like nice stuff. But I guarantee you people are going to do that. I mean, people bought his stuff, for years, and it's Tiger Woods. So people are going to, they'll buy it.
And it will sell.
I wouldn't mind one of those hats. I'll be honest with you. I think those are kind of cool with the little skeleton tiger on there.
I wonder how long it will be before people will just look at that and say that's Tiger's gear.
They won't be long. It won't be long. See that white hat over there? Match my white belt. It'd be perfect.
Here we go.
Little tiger symbol on there. Tiger skeleton.
Can you wear, is it a fashion faux pas to wear the old Tiger gear?
No, because that'll be like collector's items, won't it? Yeah, vintage stuff.
Just going to make it look like you're wearing a 3-year-old shirt?
Well, that's true.
Time for a new hat? You got the old stuff.
I don't have any Tiger stuff.
Why do you hate Tiger Woods?
Well, I don't. I'm not a huge Nike fan when it comes to golf.
Nike golf.
I'm not. I prefer Callaway. Ashworth is another brand that I like clothing wise.
What is Ashworth?
It's golf clothes. Good stuff. Freddie Couples made that famous.
What's the other one? Travis Matthew?
Travis Matthew is okay. The only problem with Travis
Matthew, I got a lot of problems with Travis Matthew.
You got to buy a XXX to make it fit like an extra large. Man,
I got an extra large Travis Matthew shirt, and I thought it was mismarked. Is this medium? I mean, all of a sudden, I put that thing on. I feel like I got a wrapped ham down there. I'm like, this says extra large.
That's for skinny dudes. And most guys that play golf have a little bit of a beer belly.
Well, that's it. So, I mean,
you see all the models that are modeling that says like buff guys, and most guys that play golf don't look like that.
No, but most models modeling anything are that. I mean, you don't get like give me the John Daly line. That
yes,
that fits better for most of us.
Travis Matthews is good stuff. You just you have to know that's the problem, especially when it comes to golf clothes. I mean, Tommy Bahama's the same way. It fits smaller, so I have to buy a size up to make it fit like I like it.
See, I don't know. See, I found like Tommy fits perfect. Extra large is extra large.
Well, so that's what my Super Bowl shirt that I got, the Tommy Bahama. It's a golf shirt. I will wear it to play golf in, and but yeah, I mean,
But you bought extra large.
I did.
But you think you're large.
Well, in a lot of things, I am.
No,
actually,
you should be extra large in everything.
Well, it's true. These muscles are.
Let's be honest.
Big.
I mean, you've been, the table muscle is growing because you've been in radio now for 2.5 years. I mean, you're getting the typical radio host body.
Yeah, the body looks pretty good,
but the belly.
But what do they say about every good carpenter?
I don't know what
they got to build something over their tools. So it goes something like that. You got to build a shed over your tools.
What kind of bad dad joke is that?
Every good carpenter does that. Dude, I'm loving life. And, it's like, I don't care.
So you're really extra large now. You just don't want to admit it.
But I've got a lot of large shirts in
that
my closet.
Don't fit anymore.
No, they do.
Not really.
They fit perfectly.
Not really.
Dude, I'm telling you, they do.
Uh-huh.
Why would I lie to you, Minix?
I know you. You're vain.
Not really.
You just don't want to have the XL.
I don't care. I used to wear double X. Are you kidding? There was a time.
Oh, we all remember.
Oh, yeah, where the double X was in there. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, I remember. Of course, I mean, I can't complain. I mean, I used to be a 300-pounder too.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I don't know if I was ever 300 pounds, but I was up there.
I was.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Dave Campo will be joining us in about 15 or so minutes.
Awesome. Looking forward to that.
Talk about Mike Zimmer. Jimmy Johnson, another former Cowboys coach. He had some interesting things to say about coaches that like analytics. Whoa. If you're an anti-analytics type, stay tuned. Jimmy
Yes.
Johnson is on your side. We'll tell you what the former Cowboys head coach had to say. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First, though, I've got a message for you that's going to change your dental game in about 60 seconds. Let me ask you a question. Are you fed up with the same old dental routine? You know what I'm talking about. Those endless trips to the dentist, dealing with missing teeth, temporary fixes that never really seem to stick. Well, I've got the answer. It is Doctor's Implants. At Doctor's Implants, they have board-certified oral and facial surgeons, and they're ready to transform your smile. You can say goodbye to the frustration of traditional dentistry and welcome a brighter future. Look, don't let old-school dentistry hold you back any longer. Embrace your future with full-mouth dental implants at Doctor's Implants. You can check them out online at doctorsimplants.com. And here's the kicker. When you call them at 210-640-0000, tell them I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz. You're going to get a complimentary consultation and CT scan. Your journey to a perfect smile begins at Doctor's Implants. Don't wait any longer. Call them today, 210-640-0000.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Attention all homeowners, do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW-WINDOWS.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax.
Touchdown!
a new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Check out the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
If you're San Antonio, there are benefits that come along with it. I will cut you to the front of the line. We're going to hike the return.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Dave Campo in about 15. Another former Cowboys coach was on Colin Cowherd today.
He was fantastic.
And watching that TV show, Jimmy Johnson, there are things that make Joe's head explode and others that make him smile ear to ear.
Yes.
And this made Joe smile ear to ear.
It did.
When Jimmy Johnson talked about analytics.
But Bill Belichick was here about a week ago, and we were talking about analytics. Yeah, really, all analytics is, it's a cheat sheet for coaches that are not real sharp to play the percentages. We had analytics 20 years ago. The really smart coaches knew the percentages and knew percentages.
Right.
But that's all it is. It's a mathematical, computerized thing, whether or not to go for it, the 2 points, go for it on fourth down, position on the field, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. But coaches have been playing the percentages ever since they've been playing the game.
See, it's called gut instinct, Jimmy. I know that's what you meant, and that's what coaches used to do before computers got in the way and analytics got in the way. Can't you just use your gut?
It's interesting because I do think most staffs use analytics now.
Uh-huh.
And I know when Eric Morris was the head coach at UIW, the now head coach at North Texas, he said one time on this show that if you have analytics, you have to be all in on the analytics.
Yeah, I believe that.
You still have to make the decision. The problem when you're using analytics, you have the data, and if you go with your gut and you're wrong, then why are you paying all the money for the analytics? And also, you realize how wrong your gut is. And while you have the analytics, some of them will tell you the plays to run or give you 5 plays that you could run in these certain situations. But if you have the data, you have to use it.
Well, Jimmy won a couple of Super Bowls, if I recall, with that team, the Cowboys.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
with no analytics.
And again, I mean, great players and good gut, but when you have data, if you have the information and you're not using it, then you wonder. I mean, he's right though. It's a cheat code.
He just threw every coach in the NFL under the bus.
He really did.
Every one of them.
He really did.
And I love
it. It's fascinating because if he were coaching now, he would be using analytics.
I don't know that he would.
He would be
I
using.
don't know that he would.
He would be using it. Hell, there are analytics departments as a part of the
know that he
football
would.
operations staff.
So basically, it's the odds on, okay, it's 4th and 3. The analytics say you shouldn't go for that 40% of the time, but you should. I mean, it's just, you can't look at that play, know your personnel, and say, you know what, it's 4th and 3. I'm going for it. I believe we can make it. So if that's the case, and I mean this sincerely, every time you hear I don't know, I guess Dan Campbell didn't follow the analytics, but every time you hear an analyst now say, well, you know, he's thinking about his personnel and he's telling his line they can get this 1 yard on 4th down, it's all BS.
To a degree. I mean, you know, if you ever know watching TV this year, everyone, you know, the ESPN, go for it. They always say go for it, right?
Well, you gotta know in your heart of hearts how your personnel, what you have, what plays you have. Well, look at a computer sheet and say, well, it's 4th and 1. Analytics say, boy, we shouldn't go for this 60% of the time. I mean, stop it. Can we just play football? Thank you, Jimmy Johnson, for saying what I certainly believe. Let's just play football. We're making it too complicated here.
Mm-hmm.
It's football.
Uh-huh.
Analytics.
How did you go from smiling to getting angry at yourself?
I'm not angry at myself.
You sound angry.
I'm angry at every analytic dude out there. Just call the plays. You're a football coach. Be one.
But you're
not a computer nerd.
You're using information, and it helps with preparation, all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's great. Preparation. But when they kick the football off and you're on the sidelines, screw that. Just use what you know.
I hope Jeff Traylor's driving somewhere on I-10, listening to you in his truck, laughing his ass off at you.
Well, I hope he is too. Jeff, use your gut. You're a hell of a football coach.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe
you've never seen Coach Traylor coach without analytics. You have no idea.
Well, I don't know what he used. It was a guy to compete.
I'm sure he didn't have all the advanced analytics when he was coaching at Gilmer.
The preparation I get, if you want to prepare like that's fine. But when you're in the heat of the battle and you're there on the sidelines, I mean, you should know your personnel. And you shouldn't have to look at a computer screen or a card that tells you well, let's see, what should I do here? What does a computer say? Oh, let's do that. You're a football coach. Coach football.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ryan Eagle's also one of the few in America that agree with Kyle Shanahan.
You think analytics told him that? Everybody's criticizing him. You think analytics told him to go to receive the kickoff?
No. In fact, everybody was surprised. I mean, there's on the New Heights, Travis Kelce said, the ref said, "Are you sure?" When Fred Warner said, "We want the ball."
He used his gut.
Patrick Mahomes, yeah, and it backfired on him.
Well,
and then there's video from inside the NFL that you guys can go find. It's everywhere, where there are players on the sideline that said they did not know the rules. They were getting coached up on the rules. Now, Jimmy Johnson address that today as well, although he's not as disturbed by the players not knowing the overtime rules.
It's not disturbing to me at all because there's people on your team, they don't know what day it is, much less the rules of overtime. As long as the coaches know the rules, I think you're fine. Obviously, you'd like to have everybody know everything, but that's not going to happen.
No, and again, Jimmy Johnson with the knowledge he's given us here, and it's probably true. There are a lot of players that don't know half of the stuff that's going on. So I think it was too big of a deal made about, well, we didn't know the overtime rules. Hell, McCole Hardman didn't know the overtime rules. He thought the game was going to continue. He didn't know.
Yeah.
So he had no idea, and half of those guys didn't know. So I just think Shanahan's getting criticized unfairly. And I know most people, I'm in the minority here. Most people thought he should have kicked the football off. He didn't. He took a chance, and it didn't pay off. But I applaud him taking a chance because if he scores a touchdown there, you put the heat on Patrick Mahomes to go down and not only score a touchdown, but then go for two.
Or
what are the analytics on that?
Well, I mean, although Kansas City wouldn't have had to go for two.
No, they wouldn't have had to.
There would have been that third possession, and then you keep going. But I mean, and we'll rehash this forever. That was one of those Super Bowl decisions that, kind of like Pete Carroll throwing it on the goal line with Marshawn Lynch in the backfield.
Let's see. Was that analytics?
That's Pete.
Yeah.
Ask Marshawn. He's still not over it.
Yeah, he shouldn't be.
Right?
They
So-
win that Super Bowl if they hand that ball off.
I mean, certainly possible, right?
No doubt about it.
I mean, so you look at it and you think about it in those scenarios. So yeah, it's kind of crazy when you look at it that way.
No doubt about it.
It is insane.
Insane. Well,
loved hearing that from Jimmy Johnson.
Dude, I did. I called you right away.
Wow.
I said, you got to hear what Jimmy said.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff. What does Dave Campo have to say about analytics, about Mike Zimmer as the new defensive coordinator? The former Dallas Cowboys head coach joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
But first, I have to give a shout out to my friends at Parkhurst New Vision because, well, I love those guys over there. They're fantastic. And why? Well, they're nice people, first and foremost. Secondly, though, they've changed my life. Had lens replacement surgery over the summer, and I see better now than I've seen in 30 years. My wife, Maggie, sees better now than she has in about 30 years. It is just a remarkable procedure. Quality doctors, and they do it right. And I tell you what, they make you feel comfortable doing it. If you want to be like me and Maggie, then you should call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020. You can also check them out online at sanantoniolasik.com. Look, when you call them, you set up a consultation, you go in there and tell them I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz, and then ask your questions. Whatever you're curious about, whatever you want to know, they will answer each and every one of them until you feel comfortable with what they are about to do. Look, you owe it to yourself to get rid of the readers, get rid of the glasses, at least check them out. Call Parkhurst New Vision. Do it today, 210-585-2020.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, it's All-Star Weekend. RJ and I look forward to every event. We pick the winners and possible losers, and it will involve a video court.
Plus, Mike Zimmer is officially the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. What needs to be on his to-do list? We have the answers, and the weekend starts today, but we have to air those grievances first. We start at 6. We'll see you there.
Sadly, millions of pets are euthanized in America every year because the shelters lack the funding to care for them. We are better than that, my friends. I'm John O'Hurley, and I invite you to make an $11 monthly donation to the Puppy Food Bank. Your $11 donation will allow the Puppy Food Bank to direct ship pet food to San Antonio rescue shelters. To help save a pet's life, donate $11 today at puppyfoodbank.org, and they'll send you a very special gift. This pet rescue message has been brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
You want to know the difference between Steve Allison and Mark LaHood? Steve Allison defends kids. Mark LaHood defends violent criminals. Steve Allison banned drag shows for children. LaHood brags on his own law website about getting sex offenders off the hook. Steve Allison is a lifelong conservative. LaHood voted for liberal Democrats, including Joe Biden, all the way up until 2022. Steve designated Mexican drug cartels as terrorists. LaHood chooses to defend Mexican drug traffickers, putting them back on the streets. Steve Allison empowered police to arrest and deport illegal immigrants. Mark LaHood defended a violent criminal who was caught trying to murder a Border Patrol agent. The NRA, San Antonio Police Officers Association, and the Bexar County Deputy Sheriffs all endorsed Steve Allison. LaHood's campaign is paid for by neo-Nazi affiliates and criminals he's gotten off the hook. Steve Allison is honest and decent. Everything LaHood says about Steve is false. Every word. Now you know the difference.
Political ad paid for by the Steve Allison campaign.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. A lot of talk over the last couple of days about Mike Zimmer becoming the new defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. And I saw a tweet earlier today from former Cowboys head coach Dave Campo that said, all you Cowboy fans, get ready. Zimmer wants lions, not the lions that live in the zoo that know they are going to get fed every day, rain or shine, like a lot of players in this NFL, but the lions that live in the jungle that have to wake up ready to hunt or they don't eat. I saw that tweet from Dave Campo, and I had to text him and say, Coach, you got to come on the show. Let's talk about this. And Dave Campo joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Coach, man, that was a fire-up tweet ready to go.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's factual. There's no question that Mike, and first of all, thanks for having me on, Jason. First of all, that is Mike Zimmer. I mean, you know, he's looking for guys that are totally committed to doing whatever it takes to win. And, you know, that's been his personality for a long time. You know, there may be a little bit of change over the years, but the Mike Zimmer I remember back at Weber State when he was the linebacker coach and I was the coordinator back in 1980 and 81 is the same guy.
Well, and that's good. And I think, Dave, that's what the Cowboys need. They need a little change of culture and somebody that's going to maybe be a little bit harder on them. Why do you think Mike wanted this job, especially with the situation with the Cowboys now? You got Mike McCarthy going into his final year of his contract. Why do you think Zim wanted this job?
Well, first of all, I think he has a lot of really good history with the Cowboys. And you know, obviously he's had some problems in his family, and, you know, he sat out for a while, did a little bit of consulting probably on the college level. But, you know, a coach is a coach. And until, you know, you're at the point where you don't feel like you can do this anymore, you know, it's in your blood. And I really think that Mike feels like he can help this team win a Super Bowl. And I think that's one of the things that you'll look at when you're going to take a job is, you know, who do they have? Do they have a quarterback? Do they have guys that can rush the passer? Do they have guys that can cover? I think he sees all of that at the Cowboys, and I think he feels like with a little bit more fire and brimstone maybe that he can help them win.
Dave Campo joining us here on the Blitz, former Cowboys coach who had Mike Zimmer as DC when you were the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Coach, I got to ask you, because you use Lions in your tweet today. There is a former Penn State Nittany Lion named Micah Parsons, who is a hell of a football player, as we all know. The question, a lot of people wonder, can he handle hard coaching, especially when you think about things that Micah Parsons has said on his podcast last year a couple different times, seemingly throwing the coaching staff under the bus, that other teams were more prepared and had better schemes and whatnot. Coach, looking at today's player and knowing how Mike Zimmer is as a coach, will he be able to get through and coach up a guy like Micah Parsons?
I think he loves the guy. Now, he's not going to back down. You know, it will be a little bit of a transition for Micah Parsons. But when he makes statements like that, which, you know, obviously I don't condone him going, you know, he probably shouldn't have a podcast. But if he feels that way, you know, that's one of the things that I think the street cred that Zimmer brings in. You know, he has won a Super Bowl. You know, he's got the ring. He can walk in with the ring. So that in itself offers a little bit of respect. The guy's been a pretty darn good defensive coach his entire career. You know, they didn't lose games in Minnesota based on the defense very often. So he's got street cred, and that's what respect comes from. I think there'll be a little bit of back and forth with that. But at the same time, Zim's not going to back down. And to be honest with you, if a guy doesn't buy in, he's not going to be there.
Well, that's interesting. And I think the culture is important when it comes to the Cowboys, especially defensively. Dave, when you look at the Cowboys and what happened, especially in that playoff game against Green Bay, what do you think this team needs, or what do you think they were lacking that they should have had or wanted to have?
Well, first of all, from a culture standpoint, I'll just say one thing this way. I know Dan Quinn very well. I was not in the office in the building. I'm here in Jacksonville, so I saw a bunch of the games. I saw that game. I'm going a little bit on some hearsay, but I think the one thing about Dan is he's a fine gentleman, and he's smart, and his scheme was okay, but you know, he was a little bit too buddy-buddy, I think, with the players, and that's part of it. You know, you can't have a lot of accountability if you don't stand a little bit above of the people that you're trying to get to be accountable. But more so than that, when they lost number 55, they lost only the real linebacker that they had on that ball club. And their two inside tackles were not, they were pass rushers. And so they were small defense, and the teams that could run the ball on them were successful. And that's what happened in that ball game. They need to get bigger and more physical inside. One of the things I always felt about the Cowboys when I watched them, and you know, I do radio here in Jacksonville. I'm in the press box for the games. I saw the Cowboy game from last year. The one thing I noticed from a defense standpoint was that they played the run while rushing the passer. Well, in this league, especially in the playoffs, you better control the line of scrimmage with your inside tackles. Rush the passer with the outside guys. I don't think they're big enough inside or big enough at linebacker. So some of that is not just the culture. It's the idea that they may have to do some things in the draft to give them an opportunity to be more successful. You have to stop the run in this league or you're in real trouble, because the quarterbacks, if they get balance in the offense, almost all the quarterbacks are good enough to beat you.
Dave Campo joining us here on the Blitz, former Cowboys head coach. Couple of things that you said there that we need to undress, and let's start with personnel. There are some players on this team that you wonder, will they fit with what Mike Zimmer wants to do? And with what you just said, some of those guys might not be around, not because they're not good players, but they're not really a good fit. Is that something that Mike Zimmer can address in one offseason when you're looking at the Cowboys and the amount of money they'll have to spend in free agency? Is it fixable in one offseason?
Well, first of all, again, I don't know what their cap situation is. I don't know any of that stuff, but I will say this. I think they feel pretty darn good about their offense. So they're going to do some things on defense for sure. I think they, you know, again, Mike McCarthy being an offensive coach, you know, I think he probably feels like he can fix everything they need to get fixed on offense. But defensively, that's why Zimmer's in there. So I think they'll be okay with making some changes in some areas. You can't do everything. That's the one thing about the NFL. You can't do everything in one shot. So that's going to be a little bit difficult. But I will say this. The one thing I know for sure is that there will never be a ball game that, regardless of what they do, that they don't show up. That's the one thing I know for sure on defense, because, you know, Mike won't stand for it. And you know, he's going to have to, he's a pretty smart guy, and I think he knows how to put guys in the position that gives them a best chance to win. And so he's going to have to do a little bit of that, because you can't take the whole group. And you know, they were pretty successful as a whole all the way through the season. So, you know, he's going to have to change the culture a little bit, and they're going to have to be willing to go out and get some guys for sure.
It's going to be an interesting offseason, Coach Campo, but it always is when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, as you know very well. I have to ask you an offensive question because the Cowboys have Dak Prescott that they've got to do an extension with. Running back situation was not as good. First and foremost, though, what are your thoughts on Dak? And do you think ultimately that he can get this Cowboys team to where they want to be? And, of course, that's the Super Bowl.
Well, first of all, I don't know if you saw the interview that was on the internet by Darren Woodson. I'm not sure you guys saw that, but Darren came out and said, hey, Dak Prescott didn't, give up so many yards rushing, didn't do this, didn't do that. I like Dak Prescott. For some reason, he kind of struggles at the end sometimes with trying to do too much. But I like the guy, and who are you going to get? Dak Prescott is one of the better quarterbacks from game one to the end than there is in the league. And they just don't grow on trees. You just don't go out there and find a quarterback that's capable of what they did offensively this year. So my feeling is you've got a guy there. You may have to build stuff around him more in key situations, but I'm paying the guy personally. I just think, I went through 5 years, actually 3 years as a head coach without a quarterback. I know how that affects you. And this kid is capable with the right set of circumstances, a balanced attack. I think they lost something in the running game this year when they lost what's his name? Zeke. And so there are things that they can do to put around him to make it a little easier for him. I think you pay him.
And that's, as you can imagine, such a hot button issue because as great as Dak Prescott has been in the regular season and 3 straight seasons of 12 wins is great, but his 2-5 postseason record. And you mentioned a minute ago, Dave Campo, the Cowboys defense won't come out flat against anybody if Mike Zimmer is the defensive coordinator. That entire team against the Packers, offense, defense, was flat. How does that happen to an NFL team with a big playoff game? I mean, were you sitting down in Jacksonville watching that saying, man, this is an entire team that's struggling dealing with the pressure of trying to win a playoff game?
Yeah, I would have to say that they did not come out there with the right frame of mind, starting with Lamb right off the bat. That's the first thing that stuck out to me was, Lamb it was almost like those guys that were at a disconnect for some reason. One of the things I've always had a little problem with in Dallas, and this goes back, we were very fortunate that we had a lot of leadership in the locker room that would not let that happen when we had the Michael Irvins and the Woodsons and Aikman and those guys, Emmitt Smith. I've always felt that there was a little bit of lack of accountability because of so much adoration. You look at the Cowboys, they're America's team, and they've only won 2 games in the playoffs. They have not won 2 games in the playoffs since the 1995 Super Bowl. It's almost like a Cowboy player can go, do, see, get whatever he wants. And sometimes the press clippings are read and, going into that game playing a young quarterback, I don't think they came ready to play. And unfortunately, in this league, you better be ready to play every single game. Believe me, if you're gambling in the NFL and you're making money, you better lay it all on the line because it's tough to do.
No doubt. Dave, I've got to ask you, because Jason and I will debate this from time to time. When it comes to NFL players, and I think you touched on it a little bit, how much does the head coach motivate these guys to play, or is it more their responsibility?
Well, first of all, I think when I look at a head coach, and guys, you have to understand, I wasn't successful in Dallas. So anything I say, there's a little bit of, difference there. But all I know for sure is that a head coach, number one, has to be who he is. Number two, he has to have the same message all the time. Has to be consistent message. The guys that really determine how a team really shows up for a ball game are the assistant coaches, the coordinators, the secondary coach, the running back coach. They're dealing with the players directly all the time. So to me, the key thing for a head coach is to put the right guys in place to win, put the right staff together and win, and then just have the same message all the time, win or lose. Don't put added pressure when your back is against the wall. Have the same message. Here's how we need to play to win. And every game is different. And every game you have to play your best. It comes down to 2 or 3 plays during the game that are going to make a difference most of the time.
Former Cowboy head coach Dave Campo joining us here on the Blitz. So much fun to catch up with you, Coach. And you mentioned, your time as head coach being what it was, and you didn't have a quarterback. When Dat Wynn was my co-host, I used to play a game with him. Could he name all the quarterbacks that he played with? Can you name all the quarterbacks that you had to roll through during your time as head coach?
Well, I can pretty much name them from Randall Cunningham at the end of his career to Clint Sterner, Quincy Carter, Ryan Leaf, Chad Hutchison, Anthony Wright.
There you go.
I think that's about it. I don't think anybody knows those guys, but Randall Cunningham.
Coach, I had to look it up. Clint Sterner's doing a hell of a job in radio down in Houston now. I saw him last week on Radio Row. And again, I mean, you look at that, but people forget, I think a lot of times you were on the staff in Dallas for a long time, better part of a decade. Are you surprised that knowing your time with Jerry through the heyday, the 90s, and then obviously what was happening in the early 2000s, that the Cowboys haven't been back to a Super Bowl, let alone an NFC championship game?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that's weighing on Jerry for sure. There's no question that that's surprising. Again, I think some of it is accountability. Some of it is, I don't know what it is, but all I know is that I really feel when you go 12 and they won 12 games 3 years in a row, correct?
Yes.
When you do that in the league, they've got the players there to get the job done from an athletic standpoint. So there's definitely something missing, whatever it is. And that's why I throw out the accountability thing of, what you do in Dallas and how they're revered and all that stuff. I wish I had the answer to that, but I don't. I just think that the one thing I know for sure is bringing in a guy like Mike Zimmer, there's going to be accountability on that side of the ball. There's no doubt in my mind. It's just hopefully it's enough, and we'll see what happens.
Dave, you've probably answered this a million times, but I haven't heard it. What was it like working for Jerry Jones?
Well, I tell you what, I love Jerry, and I'm going to be honest with you. He never meddled in the actual coaching stuff. The personnel stuff is a different story, and I think he's changed over the years a great deal. Having Will McClay there, like I said, that team has enough quality players to win. It's proven during the season. That's a long season, 17 games. To win 12 of those is a feat in itself. Now, I know everybody's not happy with not, getting to the final game. That's the nature of the fans and the media. But Jerry wants to win. He loves coaches. He loves the spotlight. He loves all those things. But he is a loyal guy. And just from Jason Garrett, Jason was did some good things, was average in a lot of ways, and he lasted a long time there. So loyalty is one of the things I really like about him. And remember, guys, he brought me back.
Yep.
He actually said in when the game that Dak Prescott came in for Tony and got hurt, when Tony got hurt up at Seattle, I was in the press box. I was one of the guys I did media there for a couple of years, and I was one of the guys that was doing the game. And he was Jerry was a halftime guest, and he came in and he grabbed me right on the TV and said, "Hey, this is one of the best coaches I've ever been around. I never got him a quarterback." So I think Jerry, that he is loyal almost to a fault. And to me, I think he's changed. I think he's got the right people there to make decisions. And I think it was a good decision to bring Zimmer in there because I think they need a little bit of a shot in the arm. And I think Zimmer's a guy that can do that.
You know, and as we circle back and end this with Mike Zimmer being back in there, and I'm a big Dan Quinn fan. You mentioned that he's a very close friend of yours, so I don't want it to sound like I'm hammering the guy, because I said at the beginning of the year, Coach, I thought this Cowboys defense could be historically great, man, and I've been taking a lot of crap for that statement for about the last month, and so I'm kind of happy that Dan Quinn is the head coach in Washington because I felt like there was something missing. Whether it was culture, as you mentioned, he's too buddy-buddy. But last week on Radio Row, when we were out in Vegas, Michael Lombardi told us on this show that the problem with Dan Quinn is he's a two-pitch pitcher. Once you figure out his fastball, you got to figure it out, and that is what Green Bay did. I found it ironic yesterday in the press conference, Mike McCarthy said Zimmer's got three pitches, a fastball, a change, and a curve. First time I've heard McCarthy use a baseball reference. Maybe he heard Lombardi on our show, but is it a combination of Zimmer will change the culture, but also adapt more in game to what opponents are doing?
Well, I think that's a good analogy. And that might even be a better analogy than my lion analogy. I'm not sure.
Well, I like your line because I hope Micah Parsons reads that and takes it personal.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really think that, I don't know Dan as well as I know Mike. And I will tell you one thing about Mike Zimmer. He is smart. He understands the game. He loves the game. He's a competitor. Listen, I believe that he is capable of throwing three pitches. And I think that I felt that Dan Quinn was kind of a very simple defense. And sometimes that's good because everybody knows what's going on. But I think that the one thing that hurt him a little bit more was the fact that they were small on defense and they wore down, like I said. So I'm not going to dig him. I'm saying that there were a number of things that made a difference in how they played down the stretch.
Good stuff. Dave Campo, always great catching up with an old friend, man. Appreciate the insight today. This was fantastic.
That's great. Thanks, guys, for having me on. And believe me, I really am a Jaguar fan now, but I'll always be a Cowboy. I want the Cowboys to win. I want Jerry to win a Super Bowl, and hopefully that'll happen.
Absolutely. Awesome. I think a lot of people agree with you on there. Appreciate it. And if you've ever wondered who is a fan of Jacksonville, there's one right there. His name is Dave Campo. Coach, always appreciate it.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Dave Campo on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com.
He's great. He's great.
Let's digest everything that we just heard from Dave Campo. You heard him. You want to react to what he had to say as well? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Your call's next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. If you need your logo on a nice jacket, a half zip, Sam's got his winter line on display right now in his showroom. If you need that logo on any kind of dress shirt, a golf shirt, Sam will get you taken care of. Uniforms. He has over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Over 25,000 caps are on display in his showroom right now, and more than 75 color combinations just waiting for your logo, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. Call 210-824-3900. 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Get ready. This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or two. Ends 3/2. In-store only. See associate for details.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Have you been to Kohl's lately? Because if not, you are seriously missing out. I just went and they have amazing clearance deals going on. I'm talking thousands of new markdowns added. So you can save up to 70% on everything from fleece sweats, cute sweaters, comfy PJs, and more. So take it from me. Run to Kohl's before you miss out. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hey, I'm Chelsea, and a little thing I like about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is I think it's just a perfect combination of ingredients. The pepper jack cheese and that spiciness of the sandwich. It's the right type of spice and the right amount of spice. It's crunchy on the outside, but then really tender on the inside. And then obviously the pickles on the bottom are iconic. There are too many things I like about that.
Bring on the spice and order the Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guest paid for their testimonial.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
It is all-star break time for the Spurs. They go in with that big loss in Dallas last night. Spurs enter the break with just 10 wins on the season. Well, Victor Wembanyama and Jeremy Sohan, well, they're already in Indianapolis for the All-Star festivities. They will participate in the Rising Stars game tomorrow night. Tigers back on the course, participating in the Genesis Invitational, his first competitive action in 8 months.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on this Thursday. Tomorrow, Blitz live out at the Rue Pub, 281 and Redland Road.
Looking forward to that, for sure.
A little later on today, we've got Grilling with the Blitz. So if you've done some grilling, you've got time to upload your photos to sasportstar.com for your chance to win a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. We'll also get you set for the weekend with what's on tap. So much going on. Cool catching up with Dave Campo.
Fantastic. I love the guy. Sounds exactly like he did 20 years ago.
Well, I mean,
that accent.
You don't
going.
lose the Connecticut accent. And look, and I appreciate the guy knows. He even just said, his time as the Cowboys head coach was not successful, and he lives with that. But man, that guy had a rough time with quarterbacks.
Yeah, when you listen to that list of quarterbacks that he rattled off, and Jerry's right, he never got him one. I know Jerry was very excited about Quincy Carter, though. I do remember that specifically, and that didn't work out too well.
No, well, I mean, Carter did have a 10-6 year and get him into the playoffs, and he dealt with injuries. But you think about when Dave Campo, and look, I've known Dave a long time, and I know, he wasn't successful as a head coach, but he is a great human being. He really is just a nice guy.
Great guy.
And fun hearing stories from him, as head coach of the Cowboys, Wade Phillips kind of the same way. Wade Phillips, now the head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, just great dude with great stories, right? And, I don't know Chan Gailey, but I'm Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett is such a different dude than what most of you think, because the robot that was on the podium and the robot that would call into this show is not the same Jason Garrett that would have a beer at the Rudder Room in Oxnard, California, or the guy that you would see literally getting in somebody's ass and chewing them out using words that they don't allow at Princeton, right? And I used to tell Jason, dude, on the air, why don't you show your personality? And he wouldn't do it. I mean, I felt like I joked with Jason Garrett one time. I feel like, Coach, because he asked one time, what can we do to make these interviews better? And I said, well, answer the damn questions. I feel like no matter what I ask, you've got 10 index cards in front of you, and you just pick one and start reading.
Yeah.
And, and you're seeing Jason Garrett on television, and I think he does a good job on television, showing a little bit more personality. He needs to loosen up more. But
he's loosened up a lot, though, since he first started on TV.
Yeah,
he was really stiff, and then he's gotten better as he goes on.
Jason Garrett is far too smart to say anything on a radio interview or a TV interview or at a press conference, and it's just very robotic.
But I love the fact that and that Dave Campo said what we've been saying quite a bit. Jerry Jones is loyal to a fault.
Yep,
I mean he is, and I think that bites him. Look, I will go again. He should have fired Mike McCarthy. Started over with, you got Zimmer, and I don't know what Zimmer's contract, I haven't seen it yet, or how many years, if it's multiple or not. But if you're going to do that, because is it fair to Zimmer to come in for 1 year? And do the Cowboys honestly think that he will make a difference and get them to a Super Bowl? I just would really have liked to say, hey, we got to start over and have a new staff in here.
I hear you, except for you saw the jump in the play of Dak Prescott. And
sure.
I don't think
in the regular season I saw it.
Well, sure.
I didn't see any difference against Green Bay.
And again, you're not going to take what you learned. The 12 games still matter.
To who?
To Jerry and to Dak's progress. They're not going to blow it up, because think about this right here. From Troy Aikman to Tony Romo, your quarterbacks were Jason Garrett, Randall Cunningham, Anthony Wright, Ryan Leaf, Clint Sterner, Chad Hutchinson, Quincy Carter, Vinny Testaverde, Drew Henson, Drew Bledsoe, Then you had Tony Romo, and when Tony Romo was hurt, you had Brad Johnson, John Kitna, Stephen McGee, Kyle Orton started a game. Brandon Whedon started some games. But when you think about all those quarterbacks until they got to Romo in 2006, so Brad Johnson, Stephen McGee, Kyle Orton were all backups to Romo. But think about all those bad quarterbacks between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo, and Jerry Jones doesn't want to go through that. Jerry Jones doesn't have enough time left on earth to go through another let's start over at quarterback situation.
Well, then that's fine. And if that's what Jerry wants to do, that's fine. I mean, again, insanity is banging your head against the wall, doing the same thing over and over and over again, and getting the same results. There's nothing about the Cowboys right now that leads me to believe that this team coming up next year is going to be any better than this team last year. In fact, this team last year was the best I've seen in a while. And I don't think they're going to be as good next year. So no matter who you have at quarterback, it just is what it is. And you might as well try something different. You've had this guy for 8 years with the same results.
Yet you've got second year with Mike McCarthy calling plays and working with him. And you did see improvement over Kellen Moore. So I think you have to go with that. It's too early to say if next year's team will be any better because we've got to see what they're going to do in free agency, getting CD signed. Do they unload the Michael Gallup contract, and what do they do to replace that offensive line? It's still early, but on the defensive side, I do expect a lot of changes, especially I expected some to begin with, but after listening to Dave Campo, I now really expect to see some changes, not only from personnel standpoint, but the attitude that Zimmer's going to bring to that locker room, the accountability. How many times did Dave Campo use the word accountability? If it were a drinking game, we'd all need to call Uber to get home.
The players have to buy into that, and that's going to be remaining. Zimmer can go in there and say whatever he wants and hold people accountable all he wants. But do you really think a guy like Trayvon Diggs, who's making $100 million, or Micah Parsons, who is about to make at least that much, they could say, okay, screw you.
We'll find out. Now, Dave Campo used the term Lions. And as I asked people to react to what you heard from Coach Campo, Carlos tweets in at CarlosDG114. Wonder if he was in the Navy. That's a destroyer. Anyway, tweets in at Jason Munnix. Should have added at Joe Reinagle 210. Listening to Campo interview with my son says lions don't live in the jungle. Perhaps a jaguar would be more appropriate. They have the strongest bite force of all the big cats. Hashtag fun fact. I don't know. Maybe Carlos's kid goes to Johnson High School. I don't know. Lions don't live in the jungle?
Sure they do, don't they?
Well, the whole Simba thing, right?
Well, yeah. I think they live in the jungle. Where the hell else would they live?
I mean,
in a zoo?
Well, I mean, besides the zoo. Yeah. I mean, but you also have a Nittany lion who is the key to this Dallas Cowboys defense. Hey, David, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Hey, guys. First-time caller. Nice to meet you both, Jay and Jay.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just going to preface with that I'm a Vikings fan. Always have been, always will be. So, yes, Drew Pearson pushed off, but let's move on. So, Mike Zimmer, and I'm just new to San Antonio, so I found your station and love it. Thanks, guys. So Mike Zimmer was our head coach for a bit up there in Minnesota, and I think you guys might be getting what you don't want, really. Okay, you're going to get what you ask for, and that's a guy that had a great team, should have won 2 or 3 Super Bowls with all the talent that he had. And yes, he's a great defensive mind, but when it really came down to it, when we played Philadelphia and the Super Bowl was in our backyard, this guy couldn't move off a dime like Dan Quinn did. So I can leave you guys with that. But, and I did watch that game, and man, even I was sad for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and that says a lot. David, welcome
Thanks,
to San
David.
Antonio. Glad you found us on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. And look, until a coach wins the big one as a head coach, they're always going to have that. And every fan base out there has the woulda, coulda, shoulda, we should have had. And Vikings are no different. I also look at Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips, late in his career, his track record as a head coach. becomes the defensive coordinator there in Denver, and finally gets his Super Bowl win. And that defense was fantastic. If you're a Cowboy fan, you could listen to David and say, well, he had his failures up there in Minnesota. And I'll counter you with Wade Phillips coming in as a coordinator and help that Denver Bronco team win a Super Bowl. It could happen. And again, I do believe Zim when he said yesterday he had other offers, but he wasn't going to go to a place that he didn't think had a chance to win. And that's the same thing Wade Phillips said when Denver called. Sure, this defense? Hell yeah, I can go coordinate that. You want me to drive the Ferrari instead of the Altima? Yeah, give me the keys.
Well, I'd like to know who the other offers were from. Look, again, and we're going to have this debate for a long time. They've got so many free agents they've got to take care of, so many changes that they have to make. They're not going to be able to make them all. It's just not. It's the finances of the NFL. And so I don't know how in one offseason Mike Zimmer is going to be able to transform this defense into something that he wants. And that's why, again, I think it's very unfair to a Mike Zimmer, even a Mike McCarthy for that matter, that they're coaching for their jobs. And depending on how this goes out, is Zimmer going to be your head coach? Is he not? If Mike McCarthy fails, I mean, it's going to be a weird season for the Dallas Cowboys. I want to see what they do in the offseason, but I just think that it's just a lame duck situation with everybody. And I just don't see them being as good this year as they were last year.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We'll get the thoughts of Zim getting hired in Dallas by John McClain. The General joins us next on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's talk about life's unexpected curveballs. Have you ever been hit with challenges that leave your smile in the dust? I got some uplifting news for you from Doctor's Implants. Look, life can throw some serious hurdles our way, and at Doctor's Implants, well, they meet patients every day facing the fallout of medical conditions causing their teeth to go south. But here's the scoop. At Doctor's Implants, they're on a mission to bring back your smile no matter what life throws your way. So if health-related dental problems have been holding you back, don't lose hope. Doctor's Implants is your ticket to a fresh start. You can check them out at doctorsimplants.com. And when you call them at 210-640-0000, mention that I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz. That's your key to a complimentary consultation and CT scan. Don't let life's challenges steal your smile. Call Doctor's Implants today. 210-640-0000.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this. It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
When liberal Allen Schoolcraft served in the Texas House in the 80s and 90s, Schoolcraft voted for every Democrat House Speaker over and over again. Liberal Schoolcraft also donated thousands to Democrat Henry Cuellar, and Liberal Schoolcraft authored legislation to double fees, but never cut taxes or protect life. In his last losing campaign in 1992, the San Antonio Express-News actually retracted their endorsement of Schoolcraft because he was caught lying about his opponents. Now, Liberal Schoolcraft is lying about conservative John Campo and running with a dangerous plan that defunds Guadalupe and Gonzales County schools and hikes your taxes by $2 billion. Let liberal liar Alan Schoolcraft keep enjoying his retirement from politics. Conservative John Kimple is endorsed by the NRA, Texas Alliance for Life, and every police group. Kimple cut property taxes a historic $18 billion and increased border funding by 630% to shut down Biden's open border. If it's conservative, John Kimple gets it done.
Political ad paid for by the John Campo campaign.
This is Tony Pollard, and you're listening to the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's get wild.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Fun talking with Dave Campo earlier today.
It was.
About Mike Zimmer becoming the new defensive coordinator in Dallas. I imagine legendary Houston sports writer John McClain has some thoughts on that as well. And the General joins us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. John, how's your Thursday?
My Thursday, just like every other day, they're great. Thank you for asking.
Mike Zimmer is the new defensive coordinator. Not really a surprise, I guess, when you think about the names that were there, but what kind of immediate impact do you think Zim will have on the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, he's replacing a pretty good defensive coordinator, so I'm not sure in regular season he's going to have any kind of impact because they were already good. You know, the key is not regular season for the Cowboys. We know they're going to have a good record. We know they're going to compete for the division title, although how many years has it been now? It's been a new division winner every year in the East. So that means I'm guessing Philadelphia will win it next season. But the key is, what can Zimmer do that Quinn did not do in the playoffs? Because that defense, as you guys know, was awful. And I know this about Zimmer. Once they started looking for coordinators, I didn't think about him, but I know how much Jerry Jones likes and respects him. And so it didn't surprise me at all. I remember seeing them I used to see them at the Combine, and Zimmer was really well liked by Steven and Jerry. So it seems like a natural fit. And I thought it was such an awkward moment on ESPN last week. I tweeted about it because Adam Schefter said Mike Zimmer is about to be hired. Rex Ryan, who's on the set, says, well, I don't think that's true. That deal's not done. And then the next day, Adam reports that something's wrong with the deal. They've reached back out to Zimmer, and the next day Zimmer's hired. It sounds like work being done by an agent to try to get a better deal and leaking stories. But I thought that it was very poorly done by Rex Ryan. Should have given Adam Schefter a heads up before that report, because they go over everything before they go on the air. So he knew Schefter was going to have that report. But it all worked out, and I think Cowboy fans ought to be happy about it. You know, Zimmer, he's got to be hungry because he's been out for 2 seasons. But, you know, as a head coach in Minnesota, he was 13-3 with Case Keenum. You know, he lost on the Minnesota Miracle. I mean, he won on the Minnesota Miracle, and then he lost, but he did a pretty darn good job. And I don't know if he'll be satisfied now with being the Cowboys defensive coordinator or if he still has aspirations of being a head coach. I don't think he'll ever get a head coaching job again. But the fact that he can preserve the scheme that they use, I would think fans, and I'm sure fans, the ones I know, are fired up about it.
You know, John, that's interesting because, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. You know, everybody we've talked to says Mike Zimmer is a guy that's a little more hard-nosed. I think at his press conference yesterday that some people say he was a jerk. How do you think the players of today will respond to a guy like that?
Joey was in the league 3 years ago, so he knows how the players of today are. He's tough. You know, that was always his MO. He was tough. He was tough on the Vikings when he was a head coach. And he's not stupid. You had to adjust. You know, if Vince Lombardi coached today, he is a great coach. He would adjust. He would not have treated all his players like they were boot camp, like he always did. And Zimmer is a really good defensive coach. I think he'll kind of adjust to the times, even though he might have to bite his lower lip a lot. But I think he will be really good for them. Is he tougher than Dan Quinn? Yes. But is he going to do a better job than Dan Quinn? We're not going to know till the playoffs. That's where he's going to be measured.
Absolutely true. John McClain joining us here on the Blitz. Super Bowl was a fantastic game, fantastic finish. Lots of debate on if Kyle Shanahan made the right call at the end. But I don't know what's a bigger story, that or the fact that Steve Wilkes is, after 1 year, gets his team to the Super Bowl, is out as their defensive coordinator.
Of course, you're surprised when a coordinator's fired after 1 year when the team is successful. And I saw one report, it probably came from his agent, saying they told him to run D'Amico Ryans' defense and not his defense. Well, I'm pretty sure Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and those guys are smart enough to know not to tell him you can't do anything you want to do. I mean, he made the calls. And so he got fired after one season as a head coach. Went to Carolina, did a good job as interim coach. They probably should have kept him instead of hiring Frank Reich. But he'll bounce back. You know, he'll end up being probably like an assistant head coach. He won't be a coordinator because I think all those jobs are filled. But we'll see him again as a coordinator. I don't think he'll ever get a head coaching job again. And I do feel bad for him. Yeah, he didn't lose the game. And Kyle Shanahan's decision didn't lose the game. What lost the game was Patrick Mahomes. He won it because he was great, 8 for 8, 2 clutch first down runs. He showed why he is one of the best in history, and he did it at the biggest times. You know, overall, it wasn't a great game. It was a great second half. 49ers should have been ahead like 21-3 at halftime, and they couldn't do it because of the Chiefs' defense. But I thought there was no blame for anybody. It was all about Mahomes taking over, showing why he's one of the greatest quarterbacks in history.
Yeah, he's incredible, and it's just fun to watch. And you almost knew as soon as San Francisco kicked that field goal, it's like I think everybody said it. Well, okay, well, game's over. Mahomes is going to lead them down the field and score the winning touchdown. John, I've got to ask you about analytics because Jimmy Johnson was on a radio show today, and he said analytics is nothing but, and I'm paraphrasing, a cheat sheet for not so great head coaches these days. How do you feel about a statement like that?
That, as I've told you guys before, and I tell every station I'm on, analytics don't take into consideration the game, the time of the game, who's on the other side of the ball. If you're going for 4th and 1 and you got the steel curtain, think about it. You could have the greatest defense in history, the 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens, or the steel curtain in the 70s, and analytics would say go for it against them on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. And they don't differentiate. They don't differentiate in injuries. Who's hurt? Who's kind of hurt? Who's a defensive tackle that's struggling because he's got a sore leg? Those things have to be figured out by coaches. Analytics, to me, should be used as part of the equation, but sometimes you got to allow them common sense, your skill as a head coach, and knowing not only your personnel, but the personnel across from you, instead of just blindly looking at a sheet of paper that says 4th and 2 and you're 42, go for it because you're going to make it 54% of the time. To me, it's asinine.
The great John McClain here on the Blitz. I almost feel like we should end it there, but I'm not, because
No,
that
of course
was
not.
a great mic
That's
drop.
great.
John, now that we're in the offseason, Super Bowl is behind us. Free agency will begin in about a month. The various debates now, and Patrick Mahomes said yesterday during the parade that they will win 3 in a row. And listening to whether it's NFL Network or the ESPN shows, what team can knock off Kansas City? I'm a little surprised that Houston hasn't been brought up in the mix as one of those teams that can compete. When I think about what C.J. Stroud was able to do this year, what DeMeco Ryans was able to do this year, should the Houston Texans be a part of that conversation with Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Buffalo as a team that has the potential to knock off Kansas City and compete for a title next season?
Absolutely not. That'd be stupid to put them in that category after one good season. They may not even make the playoffs. They play a first-place schedule in which they play every team that won the division in the AFC. That would be Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, and they play Miami and the other teams from the East. Their crossover game is at Arlington, and then they play the NFC North, which includes Detroit and Green Bay. So their schedule is brutal. They could be better, not have as good a record, but I think they're a year away from being mentioned in the same sentence as Super Bowl. Now, we'll get to find out if they can knock off the Chiefs because they play them next season. And I remember 2019, the last year the Texans made the playoffs and won the AFC South before this past season. They beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium, had them down 24-0 in the playoffs, and then choked it and lost. And so they beat them. They beat them once then. So could they beat them again? I'll tell you this: if they beat them in regular season and they play in the playoffs, I'm taking Mahomes. I'm never going against Patrick Mahomes again. But remember, people beat him in the regular season. The key is the best way to beat Mahomes: control the ball, keep him on the bench, limit him to as few possessions as possible. When the Texans won at Arrowhead, he had 3 touchdown passes because they had 3 touchdowns that game, and they were all by him. And so, is he beatable? Sure, everybody is. They lost 6 games this season, but the key is it's going to be hard for them. 8 teams have tried to three-peat. None has even made the Super Bowl. Odds don't bode well for the Chiefs and the 49ers to get back to the Super Bowl because the 49ers, the Super Bowl loser, other than New England, hadn't been back to the Super Bowl since the 90s. So maybe we'll see some new blood. I just don't believe that the Texans are ready to be one of those teams.
John, I wish I would have talked to you before the Super Bowl because way I was all in on San Francisco on Sunday.
And somebody on this show, me, said, don't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
I know.
I had Kansas City and the under.
I do a weekly video with Mattress Mac, and he told me after I picked against Kansas City and Buffalo, he said he met Mahomes 2 years ago at the Kentucky Derby. And he told him, you cost me a lot of money. I bet on Cincinnati. And he said, Matt, don't ever bet against me. And he never has since. Now, he did not bet on the Super Bowl. If he had done what Mahomes told him, he would have won another fortune. Of course, he's already got a fortune.
Yeah, but, guys with a fortune could always use another fortune.
Of course.
He would laugh at what I did on Kansas City and the under. I was happy with it, but Mattress Mac, he wouldn't waste his time with that.
Not at all.
Good stuff. John McClain on Twitter at McClain_on_NFL. Have a great week, John. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
Guys, thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
Appreciate it. The great John McClain here on the Blitz. As we continue, we're going to judge meat, give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market.
Yeah.
We'll let you know what's going on this weekend. What's on tap?
Lots happening this
Brought
weekend.
to you by Sam's Burger Joint.
Yeah.
And we've got tickets to give away to go see Interpol May 6th at the Boeing Center at Techport.
That's a great place.
If you don't win the tickets, they're available at livenation.com, or they're yours if you're caller number 7 right now. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 7, those tickets are yours. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, it's All-Star Weekend. RJ and I look forward to every event. We pick the winners and possible losers, and it will involve a video court.
Plus, Mike Zimmer is officially the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. What needs to be on his to-do list? We have the answers, and the weekend starts today, but we have to air those grievances first. We start at 6. We'll see you there.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Febreze. Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh, yeah. Spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La, 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 la.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through March 4th, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $36.99. Only at AutoZone.
Claim based on Sequence 3H test versus API SP test limits.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
We used to fight chickens in Oklahoma until they got busted up by the cops.
Grown people fighting chickens?
Yeah.
You don't fight the chickens yourself. You let the chickens fight each other.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was going to say, it's kind of off balance a little bit.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyer4us.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyer4us.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When something happens to your car, you might say, but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Hey, it's Jim Rome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Why are you struggling with the on-off button?
I don't know.
I mean, you should be so proud of yourself. Joe Reinagel the other day, if you missed any of this story, he had a new bed delivered.
Yes.
And it was kind of a bleep show.
It was a clown show, yes.
All right, clown.
We can say clown.
Yeah. So the first guy that brought the bed said, "Oh, that won't fit there," and he left. He didn't leave it. So Joe had to take apart the bed, and then it would have fit. And then Joe had to put the bed together because the guy didn't do that.
Right.
And there was all kinds of drama. Am I going to be able to do this? And I was so proud of Joe. He said, "Man, I got it done." I'm going to have to go to Home Depot and buy a socket set. And you fixed it all with a crescent wrench.
Fixed it all and got it done, and it looks fabulous, by the way.
You're having trouble with an on-off button today.
Well, and this is not Edwin's fault.
Here we go.
But normally, Pledge, he turns my mic on, so I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, Edwin doesn't. So I have to remember for the next, 20 minutes and tomorrow. Well, tomorrow I don't have to do it. We're live at the Root Pub.
We're live at the Root Pub
I'm
tomorrow.
off the hook.
Yeah. So is Edwin.
So is Edwin.
Edwin, man, you ready for a nap?
Not really.
No?
I have to wake up early tomorrow, so no.
All right.
Dude, he's young.
Doing double duty.
He can go all night.
He can.
All night for
Absolutely.
2 nights.
And he probably will. That's the way it works. If you missed Dave Campo earlier today, he was fantastic with us with some great insight on Mike Zimmer, who he knows extremely well, Dan Quinn, who he knows very well, as he was telling us, and how with today's athlete, a guy like Mike Zimmer, who's a hard-nosed coach, won't put up with crap. And one of the guys that he's going to have to put up with is Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons is a fan favorite, but I wonder if Micah Parsons will continue to be a fan favorite. Micah Parsons is tweeting out right now. He's traveling. He's at the airport, and he's mad that people are following him. He tweeted out The fact it was, there's 2 tweets. This woman and these kids followed me to my luggage now. Is there any type of self-respect and dignity anymore? The fact it was 8 grown men waiting outside of my gate with mini helmets and pictures when I got off my plane is insane. I hope you realize sometimes how much athletes got to hold back. This lady is currently following me.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, if you're in public, all bets are off. I mean, he could go be a regular guy somewhere and I don't know, have another job, and he wouldn't get bothered at all.
That is a price of fame.
It is.
And Micah, that's why they have private jets.
That's true too. Although Micah's not making that kind of money yet, is he?
I mean, he's still a first-round pick.
Well,
it's not like he's making Brock Purdy dollars.
That's a good point.
But it comes with the territory. Now, there are people out there that don't like pictures. Tim Duncan is one. You can see Tim Duncan a lot of places. He doesn't necessarily want to take pictures. But the blast people, because fans are excited to see you.
Mm-hmm.
That comes with the territory. But that's also why celebrities value their privacy, because they don't have privacy. They have traded that for fame and fortune.
They have.
Travis Kelce, I guess it was Jason Kelce, talking about his brother the other day having to move houses because of all the fans hoping to catch Taylor Swift doing a walk of shame or something. I don't know. But the day he moved to his new house in a gated neighborhood in Kansas City, Jason Kelce said somebody was banging on the back window.
Yeah.
I mean, and that, to me, that's overboard.
That's over the top.
Now, I don't know how these guys with mini helmets are standing outside of his gate unless his flight was somehow public. Is he showing up for a public appearance? But the autograph guys are there. If you don't want to sign, just keep walking.
Just keep going.
Just keep walking. But to tweet about it, that's how fans become disinterested in you or start calling you or saying negative things about you. Well, just don't do that.
I think we've seen another side of Micah Parsons. A great football player, but personality-wise and temperament-wise, he's not so great. And I think that Sean, and look, you're in a public airport. How are you going to stop people? So people should just not even notice you? Is that what he's trying to say? And well, I'm not Micah Parsons today. I'm just a private citizen.
I mean, and I get it. I remember you see different people out, right? I was having lunch one time with Josh Beckett over at Stoneworks on Blanco. And we were putting together this hunt down at his ranch for veterans. And a guy walked up to Josh Beckett and took his Boston Red Sox hat off. And this hat was nasty looking, right? Josh is sitting there with 2 hands around a hamburger, right? and the guy said, "Hey, can you sign my hat?" And Josh very nicely said, "I'm having lunch right now. But if you wait for me, I'll be glad to sign it when I'm done here. It's probably in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Man, I can't wait. I've got to go to work." I said, "Man, I'm if you do it later, because look, if I start signing yours, other people are going to come up. Let me finish my lunch, and on the way out, I'll gladly sign that for you." Guy called him an a-hole and walked off mad. And Josh looked at me and said, "And I'm the a-hole."
Yeah.
Right. And I get that.
I get
that.
That.
If you're eating, if you're in the, but if you're standing there waiting for your luggage, somebody comes up and wants a selfie, all you got to do is say no, right? And I think, and I've seen this with other celebrities, you have too. Man, if I do yours, I'm going to be here all day, man. I appreciate you stopping by, but no.
Yeah.
And there's a nice way to do that with people going, okay, I get it. Tweeting about it, man, that's a bad look, Micah Parsons.
Well, it is a bad look. And in that respect, the lunch, I get. Coming to your house, I get that. That should be off limits. You're in a public airport and you are Micah Parsons and you don't expect fans to come up and want to see you, want you to sign something, want to say hello, then you're just dumb.
Yeah, they're excited to see you, man.
Exactly.
You don't get to turn it on and off. Yeah. So, and again, when you go out in public, that comes with the territory.
That's exactly right. And make other arrangements.
If you know That's why you hear celebrities, they'll go to the movies in the middle of the day or late at night, or hell, rent out the entire theater.
Yeah.
Because if they don't want to deal with it, that's what they have to do at their extra
That's
expense.
exactly right.
You don't want to deal with fans at the airport, get a private jet.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, and again, in their world, I know it's expensive, but they live in a different world than we do. And the reason they live in that different world is the reason why those fans are excited to see them.
When I see the biggest Cowboy homer I know, and it's not you, unfortunately, you're close, but it's RJ Ochoa saying he doesn't really like Micah right now, then I know Micah Parsons did something wrong.
Yeah, well, there could be some truth to that.
Well, he did, and I'm I just don't know about this guy. We've learned a lot about Micah Parsons over the last several weeks, and none of it's good.
Yeah, he's a great player.
Sure.
But he's got some growing up to do.
He does.
He definitely seems like he needs a Mike Zimmer in his life.
Well, let's hope he accepts that Mike Zimmer love.
See, like Wemby doesn't sign anything.
Yeah, but when do you see Wemby out in public?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, even before the game, Wemby's got a deal. He doesn't sign. He'll take pictures, but he doesn't sign.
Well, there you go. So you know that going in.
Right? Well, a lot of people might not know that.
Well,
but he doesn't sign.
Sure.
And I could see, like dudes with 8 mini helmets. All right, man. They're going straight to eBay or they're collectors, whatever, and that's a job that's out there. And I don't sign them.
Yeah, it used to be at the Spurs practice facility.
Used to be. It was still there.
Guys and girls were just waiting to get, and most of the Spurs would just drive on by.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them would come out on occasion and sign something, but I mean, you drive on by. It's the way it is, and if you don't like it, get another job.
Yeah, they don't pay as well.
Well, it doesn't, but you got to accept the pay and the fame that comes with it.
That's it. Not a good look, Micah Parsons. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. We start our Friday, our weekend at the Rue Pub, 281 and Redland Road tomorrow. We should probably talk about that during What's on Tap.
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Presented by Sam's Burger Joint.
What's on Tap brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint, online at samsburgerjoint.com, where you can get your tickets, see their entire lineup, the menu, burger and tater tots. SamsBurgerJoint.com. Tonight they got Robert John and the Wreck out there, the Chris Duarte group on Friday night. On Saturday, King Cabbage Brass Band. And Sunday, something called Good Looks.
I'm out there Sunday, I guess.
Are you really?
Well, apparently, yeah. It must be.
Uh-huh.
Hey, tonight, if you're going out to the Pearl, the Stable Hall out there, love come down. Frost Bank Center, the rodeo's going on, as we all know. It's Shane Smith and the Saints. How about this at the Majestic Theater? Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't appear.
Mm-mm.
And Godfrey is at the LOL company. Is that the Godfrey?
It's got to be.
I
There
guess.
can't be two named Godfrey.
I guess. What's his first name?
God.
Or last name?
Free. Stable Hall at the Pearl. Is this a new venue?
Must be.
They've got the Black Pumas
Wow.
out there tomorrow night. Sold out show. ACL has Grace Potter. At the rodeo, it's Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick.
The
Wow.
ESPY has Black Violin. Uncle Lucius is out at Green Hall. Cody Canada and The Departed playing Flores Country Store on Friday night. The Rustic has a band called The Drift. And Pix Bar has Semi-Charmed.
And we'll be out at the Rue Pub. Did you
And
already mention that?
we will be at the Rue Pub tomorrow starting at 2 o'clock.
And that's the hottest ticket in town.
It really is. It's free.
Saturday, Brooks and Dunn have a couple of shows at the San Antonio Rodeo. Green Hall, Uncle Lucius. The Black Pumas, again, they're sold out according to this. Of course, nothing is sold out. The Boeing Center at Techport has Beartooth on Saturday night. Paper Tiger has Husbands. You ever heard of Husbands?
I have not, other than like us.
Yeah, but
Not a band.
I don't know. Dude, Joe King Carrasco at Sancho's Cantina y Mas.
That'd be a good show.
It will be. I thought of it. He's got to be old. That dude's been around a while.
If you're calling him old.
Exactly. Joe King Carrasco.
Frost Bank Center on Sunday for the rodeo. Randy Rogers is playing the noon show. Mickey and the Motor Cars at ACL. Greenhall has Hot Club of Cowtown. Machine Head is playing the Aztec Theater on Sunday night and Sunday afternoon at the Alamo Dome. Let me tell you about this because I'm hosting it. The San Antonio Brahmas having a big event in the Dome from 2 to 4 on Sunday afternoon. Parking at the Alamo Dome is free. Wade Phillips is going to be there. Daryl Johnston is going to be there. It's going to be a fun time on Sunday with the San Antonio Brahmas.
It will be. Go out and see Minix host the show, and you're the attraction. I don't know about Moose and Wade Phillips.
Moose and Wade Phillips.
Those guys are
me.
Backup bands, right?
Yeah, whatever.
John Michael Montgomery Monday night at the rodeo. That'll be a fun show. And then Styx on Tuesday. I'll be there.
You're going to see Styx?
Going to see Styx.
Did you figure out if it's the original guys?
I haven't. I'll look, and it doesn't really matter because John's already hooked us up. So.
Oh, yeah? John over at Awesome Tickets?
Awesome Tickets, yes.
Good for you, man. So you got good seats?
Absolutely.
Very
good.
You going to go watch some mutton busting?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
What's on tap brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint online at samsburgerjoint.com. You know what else we do about this time every Thursday?
Grilling with the Blitz, presented by Tri-County Meat Market.
We love to judge meat.
Yes, we do.
We tell you every week. You know you're grilling. You know you're taking photos. You're putting it on Facebook. You're putting it on Instagram. You're putting it, upload it to sasportstar.com, the Grilling with the Blitz page. Ryan Eagle likes to judge meat. So do I. And then we like to give away other people's money, and we do.
Yeah, we do.
$50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market, Huebner Road location. Super Bowl just rolled by. Paul had some homemade mac and cheese with some sirloin jalapeno bomb pinwheels.
Those look good.
And some chicken quarters on that grill. Looked like a fantastic weekend.
It
Congratulations, Paul. You and yourself a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. So if you're doing any grilling this week, make sure you upload those photos. If you did grilling last week and you haven't uploaded photos, get those pictures uploaded to sasportstar.com, the Grilling with the Blitz page.
Doesn't have to be on the weekend either. If you're grilling tonight,
take
a picture of it.
Last night,
upload it.
Got home, fired up the Traeger.
Yeah,
had a nice ribeye and some Dungeness crab clusters on there.
Nice.
A little Valentine's dinner.
Had a nice meal last night too.
Yeah, you didn't grill it yourself.
I did not.
So it wouldn't qualify you to win.
I paid
Grilling
for it.
with the Blitz.
Yeah,
but it was worth it.
It was a nice night. Yes, it was. Made my wife very happy. That's all that matters.
Dinner or the entire night? The gifts?
Everything.
Did you stop in Perrin Bottle and buy some roses on your way?
I did not.
So,
although there were people there.
So it was a flowerless weekend for your wife? You didn't take care of her that way?
Yeah. No, I didn't. Not with flowers.
She's mad at you, man.
Well, because nobody handed me a free bouquet of sunflowers as I left the building.
It was roses.
With a big
old sunflower. It was fantastic.
That's great.
But on Perrin Bottle today, those tickets are those flowers are half off, man. You'll
Maybe
be able
I'll
to take
stop by.
Exactly. You'll be able to do that. It is crazy, 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 man. Last night the Spurs took one on the chin to the Dallas Mavericks, and it's funny. The other night, Underdog Fantasy, I had Wemby higher on a lot of things and did extremely well. That wasn't the case last night as they got destroyed up by Dallas. Can't win them all, but I tell you what, you want to add excitement to watching games. Make sure you download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to underdogfantasy.com and play the Pick'em game where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build your Pick'em entry and from different teams. And all you have to do is select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in a single game. It is a fantasy game, but you can win real money, and it is legal in Texas, and certainly makes watching the Spurs a lot more exciting. UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, you'll have a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to ncpgambling.org.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club.